Hey, Tim, good morning. Thanks for being here. Daisy Lynn Castro is in the house. Thanks for being here, Daisy Lynn. Thanks for sharing on Facebook. Good vibes, Larice. Just say the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette is in the house. And your attendance is noted, Larice. And it's Leonard. Hi, Dan from Houston, Texas. Of course, I believe Leonard said something like Houston, Texas. Tim is here. Larry Lee is here. Ads, yay. Knitband, how are you? How's everything, mysterious man from the East? How's everything east of Sacramento in the lovely prison city of Folsom? I'm ready to go with tonight's topic or today's topic, wherever you may be in the world. Of course, this is Dan coming live from the bedroom studio located in Bye Bye City, Leyte, Philippines. Philippines runs on Dunkin'. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I got my coffee, I got my donuts. As y'all know, give you a little update since I posted that video on the typhoon. It actually wasn't a typhoon. It never became a typhoon before it hit Bye Bye City. It actually turned out to be a tropical storm. You sure could have fooled me. We just didn't have the winds that is, the 75 mile per hour winds or greater, whatever it is. I think we were at about 30. It was still pretty scary for me, I mean, hi, fellow donut lover, Larice. Hey, are you taking your son to the Dunkin' or to the Krispy Kreme this morning? Let's see. Tim's in the house. How's that headache doing? Sir Larry, everything is good. No escapees from the Folsom prison threatening the local residents there, Knitband. All right, so this typhoon or whatever it is, whatever it was, tropical storm, we're still feeling the effects of it. If you look on the map of, what the hell's the name of it? Well, anyway, the news is all over Facebook. So if you just bring up Bye Bye City Leyte, it would seem that the eye of the storm is moving a little bit. It's moving to the northwest. But originally, this tropical storm encompassed the entire Philippines. People were either getting wind or rain or a combination of both. 2 barangays here or 3 barangays here in Bye Bye City are flooded. And so I personally know of a couple of YouTubers whose houses got inundated with water. And that happened when the banks of one of the local rivers overflowed. So it overflowed. We ended up getting water inside the house. Of course, they live very, very close to the river, as do we. But we're not at the lowest point. We're not at the lowest point in this particular barangay or neighborhood that we're currently living in. We probably have a few feet to go, which is basically our salvation for having the house here. And by the way, I just want to let you know, in case anybody wants to know anyway, the moats that I have around the house that filled up with water. Oh, I have an interesting story to share about that. But they never came up over the top of the banks, Dan swimming pool. They never came over the top. So the water level got really, really high and we were watching it, but it never got over the tops of the moats that we had built. So now here's where we were when the storm hit. So of course the workers didn't show up because they were anticipating that they were going to get hit big time by this storm, right? And that's true, Larry. I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, truth be told, storm or no storm, I'd rather be here. So what happened was we were anticipating that the workers were going to be here and that we were going to get another load of rock. So we got one load, 3 cubic yards of big river boulders. And so I'm doing for the cistern system, I'm doing a three level of rock filtration system that I got off the internet. I hope it works, you know, where you go from big to smaller to 3/4 inch gravel. That's pretty much what the plan is for water filtration back into the groundwater. Now we live in reclaimed rice fields. So, but like I said, you know, we're not at the lowest level in the neighborhood. And when we built the house, they built up about 4 feet or 6 feet of rock and sand, so that if the water level were to rise, we're talking groundwater, of course, then what would happen was the water would go underneath the house, through the boulders, and then evaporate. But I don't know if that's the way it really works. That was the idea anyway, right? So anywho, so I was expecting that we were going to get a second load, 3 cubic yards of rock, which never came, of river boulders, the big ones. And so the workers didn't show up. I had no place to put this rock, so I was scrambling. But we have an empty lot next on each side of us is an empty lot. So I was telling Minnie, okay, we got to square away. We got to get out here and we got to do some work cleaning up the lots and moving rock out of the way, the remaining rock from the first load we got that's in the other lot. So they could put rocks here for right now. We need to move all these plants, and you know the garden's going to get smooshed and all this other stuff, but we need some place to put these rocks when the truck comes. So Minnie and I get out there at 7 o'clock in the morning when we realize no one's going to show up, right? And of course I'm pissing and moaning saying, if this were the States, we'd be showing up for work. And my wife's giving me the stink eye. You know, this is the Philippines, Dan. We do different things here in the Philippines. People don't go to work if there's going to be torrential rain. What are you talking about? It's only sprinkling, right? So here's Minnie and I out there. We're with we got our rubber boots on, and we're moving rock. You know, we're putting the rock where it needs to go. So oh, by the way, before that, I had to send Minnie downtown. She had to go get another wheelbarrow because I was anticipating we were going to have a 5 or 6 person crew. So I'd send her off, you know, as soon as the hardware store opens up, go grab one of them heavy duty wheelbarrows so that we have enough wheelbarrows to move this rock. We can do it quickly. So when she comes back with the wheelbarrow, which she did so really quickly, you know, the hardware store isn't that far from us. She sees none of the workers are here, right? So she realizes, oh my God, this senior citizen old man is going to be out there moving rock all by himself. I was all in full dress, you know. It was just like being in Sacramento working on the house, you know. I was out there do. I had my galoshes on. I had my rubber boots on. I had my hat. I had the gloves, you know, and I was going to town moving rock. And the neighbors started coming out pointing at me. That man has lost his mind. Somebody needs to go rescue him. Hey, hi, Randall. Thanks for being here. Someone needs to go rescue the senile old man for being out there in the rain, moving rock, you know. So then my wife, she couldn't stand it any longer. Next time I see her after dropping off the wheelbarrows, my wife is in her grubbies, and she has her rubber boots on and her gloves, and she comes out there and she says, man, I got to come out here and help you. Senile old man. So anyway, there we are from 7 till about noontime, loading these boulders into these wheelbarrows and hand placing them. Now, I had like by the time all this happened, we had maybe about, I would say 1.5 cubic yards to go. So half it had been done the day before and placed. But we still had 1.5 cubic yards to go of these big boulders. Of course, I haven't done any physical labor since months before retiring. And so, I have had no physical workouts or nothing, right? I talk a good game, but I've been sitting around watching TV for the last year. So I'm out there lifting these 100-pound boulders, I know that's an exaggeration, but they probably were 25 pounds, some of them, which, that's pretty heavy if you haven't been doing any workouts or anything. Mildred is in the house. Hi, Mildred. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. So anyway, here we are lifting boulders. My wife, she's like, donk, donk, donk. Minnie, as little as she is, she's handling this like, she's Superwoman or something. She's just going clunk, clunk, clunk. I'm sitting there going, I'm worried I'm going to get some kind of a hernia or something. Well, anyway, believe it or not, before the biggest part of the storm hit, around 11:30, maybe it was noontime, I'm not sure. All I know is I was getting hungry. By the way, but I was taking breaks in between. And one other thing I should let you know is that every now and again, her stepfather Frank, who's 75 years old, would be out there, and he'd be saying to me, I'm slow, but I'm strong, so I could help you. And he was out there muscling this stuff way better than I could do it. And so he was out there, but we took frequent breaks. We didn't overdo it. So anyway, what's the rest story? So 11:30, and then all of a sudden I'm looking up and I see the dark cloud, right? And it settles in right over the top of me, and just like somebody opened up, a water faucet, a huge water faucet directly on top of me. Here comes the torrential rains. I mean, the tropical storm has arrived. Now, we've had tropical storms here. We've had low pressure systems come through here, and it'll rain real hard for 15 or 20 minutes, and then it'll just stop, and then the sun comes out, and it's tropical climate, right? This was different. Then all of a sudden the winds start howling. I'm starting to panic a little bit, but then I go, I got to get a picture of this, right? I got to get my video camera out and upload this, because 1 million people will be going on Facebook, and they'll be putting all this up there, right? They'll be putting it up there fast. So I'm out there. I got to videotape this. I gotta shoot some vid. I got to shoot some vid, and I got to get it online as quickly as possible. Of course, everybody was sending me messages and texting me all around the same time. You okay there? What's going on with the storm and blah, 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 blah. So we weren't expecting this because, we thought this storm was going to be traveling due north, away from the island of Leyte. They kept talking about Samar getting hit. They kept talking about Western Visayas. That's not us. That would be a little bit further north. I mean, we are in the west, but we're kind of like a little bit inland. But the thing, all of a sudden, it changes direction, swoops in here, and then starts battering us, tormenting everybody, creating a whole new situation for people to have to deal with. Calamities like flooded homes and roofs flying away and things like that. So how did the house hold up? I know you want to know. I know you want to know how the house held up. No, the tin roof did not go flying away. But what ended up happening is the roof started to leak. And of course, I'm trying to explain to my wife, you got to get up there and you got to make whole, you got to, where the water's coming through, you have to give it a pathway. Otherwise, it'll destroy sheets of plywood that we'll have to redo. It will be a long time for it to be fixed. It'll cost us a fortune. You're going to have to climb up there. And so my wife grabs the ladder and the drill and about a quarter inch drill bit, chucks that bad boy in there, climbs up on the ladder, and then here's Minnie. Bzz, bzz, bzz. And then you can see the water just slowly starting to drip down. So I suspect that when they tied this metal roof into those, because it was leaking right by the main supports. And so right on the seams of the main supports in the plywood, I was telling my wife, this is going to be easy to fix, because that means that it's coming from the top and there's a couple of the rivets that are not properly sealed, and we have a repair kit for that. So we'll be able to take care of that. And meanwhile, it's just slowly going drip, drip. So it's not a major leak. You know, when the wind's blowing around too, it might be hard to find, because when the wind's blowing around, you know, it's blowing water everywhere, all over the roof. And so that's what we're going to have to deal with. Once things dry out, we can get somebody on the roof. I ain't going up there. No. Climbing on roofs, those days have done passed me by. I'm not doing that no more. I'm retired. My job is to sit back, drink beer, drink coffee, go down to the Dunkin', and I do my job very, very well. I don't know about you Krispy Kreme fans, you know, those things are basically air filled with sugar. This is where you got to go right here. See, this is where you got to go. Philippines runs on Dunkin'. Don't forget that. All right, let me get through this chat real quick, and then we'll talk about today's subject matter. You're supposed to be singing in your Johnny Cash voice. How high is the river, Mama? Yeah, I thought about that. 3 foot high and rising. Yeah. Seems like it's a lot higher than that around here. You know, of course, we're in reclaimed rice fields. So, I mean, how high, you know, but I already know honestly, listen, I don't want to dramatize this any more than I have to. I already know where the water table is. And so I already know it was okay to build the house here. You just had to be smart at how you're going to evacuate the water. And a lot of you know from watching the video, I'm putting a sump pump in. I got a plan, but the plan, it's taking a long time to execute it, because we had to run new plumbing, new electrical, all this stuff along the way. You know, it's because I want Western luxuries. I want a centralized hot water heater. Can you blame me for not wanting that? I want water pressure, and so we have to put in the water pressure pump. We need a generator for the times when the power goes out. Oh, by the way, the power did go out a little bit before broadcast time here. Yeah. And so I feel 25, you know, it's a weird ethereal thing, Nitban. And so I was like worried, oh, we're not going to get on the air. I won't have a chance to see my fans today. But as luck would have it, it only lasted 15 minutes, and boom. Of course, I had Minnie running around. Minnie knows what to do. Minnie ran around early this morning when the power goes out. She's a well-trained. Actually, she takes the lead on a lot of stuff. So let me just, she'll be looking at this video later. I just want to say that she's not just well-trained, but she takes the lead role on most of the maintenance stuff these days. And so she goes running around, and what does she do? Flips off those breaker switches right at the main box. She runs all over the place. We got breakers everywhere, right? For the AC units, and so she's running around. They do things a little bit differently here in the Philippines. They have a main breaker box, and then sometimes, you know, if you don't have room on that breaker box, they'll set up either sub panel boxes, or they'll set up individual breakers she knows where all that stuff is. So she goes running around and she's flipping everything off because she knows that she'll get stuck with the bill if one of our electronic devices blows up. And so she goes and she shuts everything off because she doesn't want the power surge when it comes back on. You know, she wants to give it time to avoid any power surges. And then once she waits like a good 10 minutes after the power comes on, after it's restored. And how does she know that it's been restored? Because you can see the lights, you can see the people's porch lights go on. But not only that, they call it out in the barangay. It's sort of like, hey, lights are back on. Hey, neighbor, lights are back on. The culture is beautiful here. Let everybody know, you know, they let everybody know that the power's been restored. And so that, and they keep sending that signal all through the barangay until everybody knows that the power is back on. That's pretty amazing, I would say. All right. Okay, what's next? You guys getting bored with my story, I could tell. So everything is fine right now, but if the power goes out, I will not be back. That's the reason for bringing it up. Pacquiao Mertz is in the house. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Man, when you pin my YouTube channel in your live stream, my views go absolutely crazy. I really, truly appreciate it. There are like 3 or 4 people when they pin me, my views, you know, they go nuts. And of course, I put a boring video, so I could, I'll take any help that I can get. So, hey, just want to let you know, I appreciate you. And I hope we get to meet sometime soon when Minnie and I get done with all these chores around the house and we get to start traveling again. Of course, probably to go to the other different islands. It's probably easier to go to Cebu first, and then we'll be hitting you up. I think that's where you are, right, at Cebu. And by the way, I saw that picture with you and what's his name? I said, what's his name? I do apologize. Is it Nomadic Hippie? Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to see Nomadic Hippie myself, you know, except the whole meow thing, you know, it says, doesn't appeal to me. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. I can't believe I just said that. Don't go to Nomadic Hippie and tell Nomadic what I said. Let him come to the live stream and figure it out. Yeah, I wasn't going to go up to Nomadic. Said, "Yeah, I'm okay with meeting you, Dan. I don't mind hooking up with the little channels every now and again, but don't come up to me with the whole meow thing, okay? Leave that for Larice to do." I don't meow anybody. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I said that. Yeah, I don't meow anybody. Robert is here. Oh, you know what? Doggone it, you know. I didn't put a channel link yet. Let me go to my channel here and see what's going on. I got my phones. I got 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 phones here. Got a lot going on. You know, there's a lot of toggles to, there's toggles and switches and levers to pull, you know where that comes from, right, Nitban? Let's see, you know who I stole that from. I've been stealing lines from a lot of YouTubers lately. I'm going to try and cut that out and come up with my own stuff. Sooner or later I will. Raining here off and on, but nothing to panic about, Laura Reese. Well, I panicked a little bit. You know, I've never been through such a rainstorm, and that was only a signal 1. Oh my God, my goodness. You know, can you imagine what it would be like to go through a signal 3 or signal 4? That's crazy. But my wife says, oh, you better get used to it because it happens all the time. Happens all the time here in the Philippines. I said, what? You didn't tell me this. See, so I had this idea. Oh, do you live part time, half time in the province, and then half time in the city, like the city of Cebu, because I love it so much? Of course, what difference would it make? What difference would it make if you were living in Cebu? I mean, for this particular storm, it wouldn't matter. You're going to get whacked. Isn't Cebu getting hit with this storm, Mertz? I mean, I think so. So let's see, where was I? I know, I got off track here. Something. So I was going to do something. I just can't remember what it was. Yeah. I was going to pin my thingy. Did that work? I'm my own engineer. Yeah, I'm my own engineer right now. Okay, so now let me tell you the story of the topic. Yeah, I'm done with all this other stuff. No one wants to hear about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So for the person who sent me an email, hey, listen, the whole overstay road thing, let me talk about that. He says, so the line is this. So you want to move to the Philippines, eh? That's his line. It's not the line that I said. So go back, look at the videos, look at his videos. It's, so you want to move to the Philippines, eh? That's his line. That wasn't what I said. So there's somebody stalking me, wants to be one step behind me, saying, oh, you did this, you said this. That's copyrighted material. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to make a point. So I don't know if you know, I don't think that Daisy Lynn, I didn't ask her permission to talk about this, but I feel compassion for her. And so I'm going to tell you guys something that happened. I don't know what's behind it. If you could, yeah, that's right. I used 3 big rolls of ultra sticky waterproof tape, cut 2-inch square pages and placed them over every nail head. And that's what I should have done, but it wasn't done. And so I was wondering, why do I have 2 rolls of ultra sticky waterproof tape in this drawer? What's that for? And then now the light bulb goes on and I know what it's for. So none of that was done. And so we have to get up there. I have to hire some brave young soul who doesn't have a very large family and have them go up on that roof. No. I would not put anybody in harm's way. I would put some kind of a safety harness on them because we have a very steep roof, and then they could go up there and they could make sure it's sealed. But you have to wait until it's dry, right, Tropical Tim? You have to wait until it's dry. All right. Oh, yeah. So Daisy Lynn's story. Not Duncan Rice's life. They use rice flour, Knitman. I don't know if you know that or not. In the Philippines, they use rice flour. No. I'm just joking about that. I'm joking. Oh gosh, I have such a wild and dry sense of humor. I do apologize if I offend anyone today. Let's see. I hope everyone's safe. Be alert. That's right. Don't go out there. Sammy was telling me. Sammy Chavez said, do not go out there, Dan. It's not the rain and the wind that's going to kill you. It's getting hit in the head by a coconut you're going to end up taking a stick of bamboo right through the heart. It'll be a stick of bamboo right through the heart. That's what's going to take you out, not the wind and the rain. And I believe that to be true. So I stayed and I stayed in front of the TV set, away from the doors and the windows, cowering in the corner. That's right. It's a good combination. The Philippines runs on Dunkin', Mildred. Oh, by the way, once I started talking about Dunkin' Donuts, guess what happened? Guess what happened? They started running food commercials on my channels. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Okay, now back to Daisy Lynn. Robert, thank you so much. Peace, love. Let's see. Daisy Lynn. So Daisy Lynn, I apologize for sharing this. I think it's a story that needs to be told. Go in to Daisy Lynn's channel, and if she has playlists, just hit that play button. Hit that play button so we can get her watch hours back up. We need a few hundred watch hours per month. YouTube reviews, not the watch hour channels. I don't think that's what they were going for, but Daisy Lynn had posted some shorts, and her shorts were going viral. No, not these kind of short. No, not those. Her short videos, right? And oh, good, Tropical Tim. That's what we're working on. We're putting on. We're gonna put in a 5,000 watt propane generator. So anyway, Daisy Lynn shorts. If you go in there, you remember the shorts about the little mechanical toy eating candy. They went viral. And I think that YouTube, listen, I'm only sharing my opinion. I shared it with Daisy Lynn. Nobody really knows unless you ask them. You know, no one knows what's going through the mind of a YouTube reviewer. But apparently they thought that she was trying to manipulate those views, you know, but they weren't sure. You see, here's the whole thing. There were no community strikes. There were no violations of any policies that they cited. They just said something like, or they didn't say these words. So I want to be fair to YouTube, right? I mean, we are using their bandwidth. We are in their channel, right? So here's the thing. They could do whatever they want. This is a lesson learned that YouTube can do anything that they want. And so that's why I'm thinking about demonetizing my channel. I'm not really interested in making money more than I am spewing garbage. But anyway, getting back to what I was about ready to say. And they thought that she was trying to manipulate. Here's my own opinion, not hers. Listen, Daisy Lynn's a very smart person. I want to let you know that. Extremely intelligent, right? So Daisy Lynn's extremely intelligent. So, but the thing that I think that they were, and so I kept thinking, okay, what was Daisy Lynn trying to do with these shorts? Some of these shorts went viral. Once you got on the fact that people enjoyed seeing the little mechanical toy eat candy, then she put up 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 videos. I really don't know how many. And they all went viral. I mean, they were going crazy hits. And of course, when you get those kind of hits, they pay you for them if they're running ads and commercials and things like that. What are you laughing about so much? Why are you laughing so hard, Larice? Okay, all right. So, you know, because I'm behind in the chat and all that, it doesn't happen in real time. I'm not sure, you know, you can't laugh at every joke. Every joke is not funny. So she had the mechanical candy thing. It was eating different kinds of candy. She was not posting the same video over and over again. Each one was different, right? Or it was one video broken up into several different separate videos. Well, they didn't like her creative approach. You see, they did not like her creative approach because they were getting mega hits. You know, I think a better venue for that type of video, by the way, Daisy Lynn, if you're still here and you're listening, would have been Facebook or TikTok. TikTok, it would have been great. Yeah, exactly. No meow, meow. Yeah. So, oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the helping hand. The helping hand. Isn't that a beautiful name? All right. So, anyway, so I think, no. Uh-oh, I'm hearing 10. I'm hearing 10 flying off of someone's roof. So here's the whole thing. if you were, so maybe there's a way, I mean, this is what is going through my head. Maybe there's a way to manipulate that algorithm, and Daisy Lynn tapped into it by accident. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but those videos went viral. And so I just want to say that the creativity involved in that type of video was brilliant. So Daisy Lynn, you are a brilliant person, because I watch those videos over and over again for hours. I'm not going to lie to you. There was something about the video shorts. I think they've since been deleted. I'm not sure. I think she told me this morning they were deleted, or she deleted them. But they were going crazy. I would sit there and I would watch these videos, and I was laughing my you-know-what off. You know, we're all adults here, right? I was laughing my other end off. And I would go back and I would watch those videos again. Larice says there's signal 2 in where she is, which is south of Manila, to the southwest of Manila, I believe. So signal 2, and that storm, the eye of the storm, was heading just a tiny bit. Robert had posted some video. He was keeping us informed of where the storm was headed and the trajectory. And they do updates. If you want, go into Robert's channel. Robert was doing it on Facebook, I believe. And then you can see those videos of the projections of where the storm is going to end up or moving. And it's moving to the northwest, slightly north of Manila, but it looks like Manila is the one that's going to get slammed big time by this storm. Maybe signal 2 or signal 3. Larice just tells me here. She just tells us that it's signal 2. So be safe, Larice. Be safe. Isn't it your son's birthday? And that's not a good thing. If it's your son's birthday, then you have to deal with a storm. All right. So yes, it worked. So that whatever the algorithm was, she had plugged into it, because she is a brilliant human being. And once you get, as anyone knows, once you get onto a theme that starts giving you views, you know, I hit them once in a while, right? You guys know what mine are, right? Tim says it was signal 3 where he's at. So Tim is in Pampanga. So that means, or Balibago, somewhere up there. So that means that your signal 3, as it's making its way over to the west, away from the Philippines. So signal 3, as it moves to the northwest. All right, so the Daisy Lynn thing, back to that. So she didn't do anything I don't believe that any one of us wouldn't have done, right? They'll probably delete my channel after I give my critique here. I'm not really critiquing YouTube, right? I'm just more or less saying they made a mistake, and YouTube makes mistakes. And so she latched onto it, just like I latched onto certain videos about how inexpensive it is for Westerners to live in the Philippines. And the next thing you know, I get 1,000 to 6,000 views, that sort of thing. So oh my gosh, Tim, I don't know what to say about that, bro. I'm holding back. I gotta hold back. So they didn't like it, because she's getting paid for them hits. I mean, when a thing goes viral and you're getting thousands of hits, blam, 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 you're getting paid. So they review it, because they're looking at the algorithm. They're saying all of a sudden, boom, her views just start going stratospheric. And guess what they do? They turn off in their brilliant wisdom, they turn off her monetization, And so I don't get it, I'm not really interested in YouTube's money. That's not the reason. Okay, I'm going to reveal something to you about me that you would have guessed, right? It was all to see if I can get a monetized channel. It was to see if I could get enough views, get enough subscribers to become monetized, you know, because I don't really, the money I would have donated to science, you know, I would have donated to some, I do it every month, you know, I donate money every month. The whole thing is that money would have gone to one of y'all, you know, and so, you know, I'm not doing this obviously for the money, because if I did, well, I would go broke. You know, I think since the channel's been monetized, maybe I've earned $40. And and they don't pay until you earn 100. So I had a couple more months to go before I hit 100. We're coming into Christmas season. It probably would have happened by the end of December. And then boom, one of you would have gotten paid. I would have had some kind of a contest. One of you would have gotten paid, you know? So there you go. There's my story. I'm sticking to it. So now they didn't give Daisy Lynn any kind of a demerit, a community strike. They just said, hey, we're going to, you know, you did this too often. They sent some very vague thing to her, some very vague email. I don't remember how it was worded, but it was very vague, because I kept asking Daisy Lynn, well, what was the issue? And really, it was very difficult for her to describe the issue to me. I had to go and discover it myself. You know, I went and discovered it, and then I sent her a message, and she said, yeah, that was it. You know, and so all I could say is that right? You know, does YouTube make a mistake now and again? You know, when a creator gets their rhythm going, and then they just take advantage of it. But their comment was something about you reused it, the idea, I guess, too many times in a row. You know, well, so what? What do they want? You know, where was this in the rules that you have to space them out every 6 or 8 months? Where was this in the rules? I missed it. If one of you can point this out to me in the rules. So now I said to Daisy Lynn, appeal it. You know, appeal it. This isn't right. Tim, where are you going? All right, Tim. Dry sense of humor, yeah. Very dry. So dry you can't even know when I'm telling a joke. So anyway, if someone's out there that can help me out, you know, then I appreciate it. But so far, I just don't get it. You know, it's perplexing. I'm saddened by it, you know, because Daisy Lynn is a good friend of ours. She's become like family to me, you know. Well, most of you YouTubers have become like family to me. And so the whole thing is that they said that she could not appeal it because she has to go in and build up her watch hours again. She's just slightly underneath the 4,000, you know. And I was like, well, you know, so she cannot appeal it. But they were wrong, you know, in my opinion. They were wrong. But it's their show. It's their platform. They can do whatever they want. Folks, take my advice. Use YouTube as the launching off point for other adventures, you know. But once you get dependent on YouTube, they become the master. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just stating a point in fact. I'm okay with it because I understand this is their platform. This platform does not belong to us. So, Daisy Lynn, I apologize to you because I didn't know that this was going to come out. You know, but it's only because I care about you. So go in there, and if she has playlists, then watch those playlists and let's build up those hours. And then she can reapply for monetization of her channel. I think they said, you know, correct what's wrong with your videos and then reload, right? Well, what they were basically saying was delete. delete those channels, you know. Dan, a lot of flooding where Sammy is in Negros. Oh boy, I had a feeling something was going on because Sammy and I were sending messages back and forth for a couple of minutes yesterday evening, and then Philippines time, and then all of a sudden, you know, suddenly stopped. And so I was just thinking, maybe there's some kind of an issue. So Daisylin's still there, but I'm not sure if she heard all what I had to say about her situation. Also, putting TikToks on your channel does damage, so I removed all of mine. Really? So really, I did not know that. So listen, Robert's probably on to something. You see, because the whole thing is they're competing with each other. They're competing with each other. You know, once somebody sees that a platform is doing something and an idea is taken off, and then everybody copies each other. And so they can dictate, you know, to you whatever they want. Do this, don't do that. There's a song, right? Tropical. Do this, don't do that. Something like that. Yeah. Daisy will watch some videos later. Yeah, do whatever you can to get the watch hours up. She's doing all that she can in order to get the watch hours up. Jim from Sacramento. The pontoons for your house are on order. Yeah. Jim had already given this idea several years ago. We've been talking about this for a long time. And the idea was to put pontoons on your house. The problem is they would work, and then your house would go floating away. So you'd be alive and healthy, but your house is going to go floating away, you know? Hey, how do you row? You're rowing your house back to your lot, you know? All right. Dang it. Let's get on with today's subject matter. Where was I? Oh, Jim and I we're probably 20-year-old friends from Sacramento. All right, so let me see. Oh, so the subject matter is it safer? You know, is it dangerous to live in the Philippines? Well, I don't know. Maybe the Filipinos have to tell us about that, because I've never felt threatened here. So I went to, by the way, where did I get this idea? Well, I've had this idea a long time. But here's the whole thing, you know. When I went to my brother-in-law and I explained that I wanted to do this video about this subject matter, he said, you know what? It sounds to me like you're bashing the United States. How can I be bashing the United States talking about the Philippines? You know, see, and so my brother-in-law is Filipino, right? Lost all his power, even solar. That's not good. That's not good. Send love and prayers to Sammy, you guys. All right, and you and women. So here's the whole thing, right? I'm just stating points of fact about this. Now, I feel like Sacramento, where I came from, is a way more dangerous place than any place that I've been anywhere around the world. What are they coming up with, Jim? Something like 55 murders this year. How many random events have occurred where people just grab their 9mm or their 45 and they just start shooting into a crowd? You know, like what happened in downtown. So it's very scary to live in Sacramento, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, you would not want to return. Well, you know, I always go for, you know, trying to gather up facts so I could present points of view and give you factual information. So I started thinking, why in traveling Southeast Asia have I never been afraid or felt like my life were in danger, no matter whether I was in Thailand, anywhere in Thailand. And I've been to the grittiest parts of Thailand and the grittiest parts of the Philippines, come to think of it. I have never once felt threatened, not once. But I've had a few times where I've had areas of concerns and I was able to take care of those right away. Now, mostly it's don't do stupid things. You know, you wouldn't do stupid things in Sacramento, and you wouldn't do stupid things in Manila. or Cebu. I don't believe in running around in the dead of night, tempting fate. I'm not going to tempt fate. So that's the thing. Loving kisses from Laurice Daisy. Mabel Torres is here. Very, very big supporter. Oh, see, here's Leonard making a comment. That's very low shootings compared to Houston. So, gunshots going off in the middle of the night, sirens blaring almost every minute of every day. It's horrible. That's how I viewed living in Sacramento. But I can't say the entire United States is like that. No. Detroit isn't like that, is it, Tim? Tim says, I have no desire to go to the States unless it's for good medical treatment. Oh, man, you open the door to something else. Tim, I know you guys I like Steve at the Philippine Information Channel, but don't listen to this part of what he has to say. I mean, I feel so strongly that you shouldn't be taking this advice that I'm going to have to send an email to Tim. To Steve. Tim, you're on the right track. At the Philippine Information Channel. Guys, I think Tim keeps saying this because he's not Medicare age. But he's basically saying, don't waste your money on Medicare if you plan on living the entire rest of your life in the Philippines. All right. But I think he's saying this because, he's like 59. He's not 60 yet, So the opportunity for him, he'll change his mind by the time he reaches 65. This is why you don't do it. Because if you don't, I made it sound like there's one reason. There are many, many different reasons. The ones that come to mind are that if you don't take the Medicare, then the other problem that you're going to have is you can't partake in the supplemental insurance programs that Medicare has to offer. And so I have Cigna Health as a supplemental medical program, and I have Aetna for the prescription program. Folks, if something happened to me and I had to be admitted here into a hospital in the Philippines, I have to pay up front, but they will reimburse me. That's a fact, right? Now, here's another fact. Let's say that you have Kaiser Senior Advantage or some other Advantage program. They will also reimburse you when you're in the Philippines or you're traveling around the world during traveling. Now, Steve knows this. I believe Steve knows this, but he's acting like he doesn't know this. So reason number 2, your premium payments go skyrocket on regular Medicare if you don't sign up within the first 6 months that you become eligible for the program. So God forbid something happens to you and you need open heart surgery or something, and that costs $250,000 or $350,000 in the States and $30,000 to $50,000 here in the Philippines. God forbid. But you see why you want to have Medicare in place? I gave you 2 reasons. I could probably come up with half a dozen. So by the time Steve reaches age 65, he will have figured all this stuff out. All right. So yes, do I believe that you should have a separate insurance in the Philippines, to cover up to $30,000, under, I think the insurance that he likes is Pacific Cross. Yes, I'm with Steve 100%. Do I like Pacific Cross Insurance? Yes, I love Pacific Cross Insurance. I love the the basic level plan that they have. I will be meeting with the Pacific Cross people the next time Minnie and I are in Cebu. That's a fact. It's different if you have a senior advantage. If you have a senior advantage plan and you're still working. Listen, so here's the whole thing, right? It's this is the reason why these Medi-Cal advisors or Medicare advisors come in handy, is because they'll explain all this stuff and how it works. This is the value that they have, Medicare advisors. And so I can't say that this is applicable to everybody, that it's a blanket idea. No, I just can't pull that out of my other end and say everybody should do this. Everybody's different. But the whole thing is that he gives some crappy examples, right? And so the other reason why you want Medicare in the States, right, is that he's trying to compare Medicare with Pacific Cross in terms of having a long-term illness. So let's say that this is his most recent video. Go and watch it. This is the only critique that I have for Steve that's been bothering me for a long time, to the point where I'm finally probably going to have to email him and say, listen, don't tell people not to sign up for Medicare because there are circumstances that exist that you would want to do it. So I don't think I'm being a very foolish person by maintaining my Medicare and my supplementals in the US of A. It's cheap insurance. Robert says, I live close to Washington, D.C., that the violence there is so bad. There are shootings there every day. I know. But housing, hey, how about Detroit? Housing's cheap in Detroit. Gee, I wonder why. Hi, Crystal's Adventure. How are you? Thanks for coming to the live. I appreciate you. You know that. I hope we get a chance to come up with a subject matter where we can do some debate or panel on it someday. Robert says, I have Medicaid and Medicare. Right. So, yeah, it's brilliant. 100% coverage. Plus, I have VA. Well, when you come over to the Philippines, Robert, one of those is going to go away. So, but you'll still be have your bases covered, I believe. United Healthcare would be senior advantage insurance, if I'm not mistaken. It covers everything, right? And the state or somebody is paying the premium. Yeah, I would not say no to you in that situation at all. But I think, by the way, Steve addressed this, and so we're cool with this. Yeah, he gave the information as far as this goes is correct. Where there's state participation in the premium payments. He said you got to keep that. So Medicare and the VA, right? You're covered 100%. So it's a good deal. All right, back to the crime topic. That was bothering me. I saw it right before we went live. I saw his video. I always check Steve out every day. I love his content. He delivers the message straight. He just tells you, don't be a fool and come to the Philippines without being insured. The medical stuff is gonna kick your butt. Well, a lot of people say that, but here's what the problem is. And Steve mentions this, right? And he's mentioned it quite a few times before, and I agree with him on this topic. If you go to Guam, first you have to be able to get to Guam. And that's what the problem is. We're talking about emergency situations. We're not talking about long-term care. So, but he came up with a couple of very, very important issues, right? Where are you going to stay when you're in Guam? So you have liver cancer, right? You're going to have chemotherapy, radiation, operation. You're going to have all this stuff, right? If you're lucky enough that they let you on the plane with your conditions, and you get to Guam, then there are a whole bunch of other issues you have to deal with. housing, food, uh, nursing care, all these things that you have to deal with. Guam is one of the most expensive places on the planet. And Steve pointed this out. He didn't say it was one of the most expensive places on the planet, but he pointed out, rightfully so, that you still have all these expenses that you're going to have to account for, which would make going to Guam prohibitively expensive. But Steve also said something else. The VA, they farm out medical care when you have other conditions. So you most likely would end up in a Philippines contracted hospital where they would give you the care that you need. So here's the thing. When we're talking about cancer and long-term care, a slow but certain death, the doctor comes to you and says, oh, well, I have good news and I have bad news. You have terminal cancer, but you have 5 years to live. What are you going to do? You have time to go back to the United States to get medical care. Oh, but you didn't keep up your Medicare premiums. So you get to the United States, you find out you can't enroll, even if you do pay the higher premium. Then, oh, thanks, Chris. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm trying to put something together, ideas in my head. So you go back to the United States and then you find out, oh, you can only enroll in Medicare during open enrollment. You get there and you have 6 or 8 months to go before open enrollment. And then once you do enroll, you have to pay the higher premium. And then you can't buy the supplementals. And why can't you buy the supplementals? They're not going to sell them to you, because they will sell them to you, but they will cost a fortune. They will be out of the range of affordability. So there's a whole bunch of stuff, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And how is it that I know? Because I spent a lot of time researching this stuff. I wanted to make sure I didn't make a mistake. I bought the insurance that I could afford to buy. Okay. And I'm buying more. Because of I've come to find out that what Steve has said, the information he provides about Pacific Cross, makes sense to me. A combination of health insurance and self-insurance for the Philippines. It really does make sense. Long-term care, it's the US of A. For most people. I kind of doubt that I will do it that way. But in other words, that's why the insurance is there for you, because it's insurance. It insures you, right? That's why it's there. Yeah, the VA is going to cover you somewhere, wherever there's a VA. But as Tim pointed out, Robert, it's a clinic. It's not a hospital that's in Manila. It's a clinic. It's like walking into a clinic office. I believe I've seen it. It's near the U.S. Embassy on Baywalk. All right, back to the crime thing. Lori sends her love. Oh, who do we have here? Chippy Tulula. Salamat po. I would be in the VA, a hospital. Okay. Yeah. No, we're talking about long-term care where it's outpatient treatment. Yeah, that's what he was talking about. It turns out it's a slow but certain death, but it's all outpatient. What will you do? What will you do? You have to think about all these things. Good info as usual, Dan. I really enjoy your content. Oh, thanks so much, Randall. I hope I'm being helpful, and I'm sorry for jumping around all over the place. I just have to point out when, because Steve is so, he has such a large channel and he's well respected by me and others. And so that's the one thing that I can't let it go. I can't let it go because I don't think it's good. It's not solid information. It would be solid information if he separates it into 2 categories, right? those that are under Medicare age and those that reach Medicare, and then presents it as choices that would need to be made. You see, that's how it has to be done. You know, under 65, I recommend you do this. Over 65, here are your options. You know, it has to be a series of options, actually a series of options for both. Not an authoritative, you know, don't waste your money on Medicare. You know, can't do it that way. Sorry. Thank you, Crystal. All right, so let's talk about this crime. All right, so I'd said that, all right, I was going to present this, you know, from a statistical point of view, right? Because I love the stats, but stats are stats, as they say. So this is good because you can say, oh, those stats are crap, you know. But if you go in the U.S. State Department website, you're going to see this list, right? It's going to show you the safest countries in the world. It's ranked by ranking from 1 to 143. Okay. In fact, go into any website that discusses this subject. It's from 1 to 143. So they're ranking these countries. Number 1 safest, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Somebody has to go in there and look and tell me. State Department or others. Just go into Google and say, what is the safest country in the world? And then it's going to come up. But in terms of that list, you know, when you go in the State Department, it starts warning you, you know, it starts giving you warnings. Travel to the Philippines, and they start giving you advisements. You know, don't travel to certain sections of, you know, Mindanao and blah, 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 right? And that's good advice. That's good advisory, travel advisory. Yeah, they can be easily manipulated. So, and quite frankly, Tim, I don't know where these stats come from, but by country, that's why I like using them, because they can be easily manipulated. I can do it. You can do it. Robert, I'm going to have you up here. Be patient, though, because I'm going to go through these numbers. And it wouldn't hurt for one of you in the chat, if you want to come up here also. All right. Let me just lay it out here. Maybe all of a sudden my screen is going to fill up with people that are in the green room. But the Philippines was ranked by country the 59th safest country out of 142. By the way, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the United States has been ranked at number 86 as of 9/14/22, according to U.S. State Department. Wow! Oh my gosh! Listen, this is going to end up being like a discussion on the Medicare thing, I think. Oh, Iceland. That's because nobody lives there. There's no crime to commit. That makes sense. That makes total sense. Oh, my goodness gracious. I am not surprised. I am not surprised. So, now, so I don't know what they're using, though, to get these numbers, right? I don't know if they're using, I don't know if they're using crime statistics, petty crime statistics, felonies. I don't know what they're using in order to make this determination. Cali King 916, because they don't say, they just rank. They just rank, apparently from 1 to 142 of the safe, you know, they rank the countries by safety, right? And so Philippines is 59 and the United States is number 86. Wow. That distance is enormous, right? Cali King 916 is in the house, a neighbor, from what I understand. We didn't know each other, but apparently a neighbor. We lived close to each other when I was in Sacramento, that last 6 or 8 months or that last year. We lived in those apartments, Cali King, that were right by, after selling the house, we were right by Norwood and now I can't even think of the name of the street. Bell Avenue, that corner, one of those corners. You know, there are apartments on every corner, so I'm not giving much away. Uh, Iceland, you'll get frozen. Well, except Iceland, it is thawing out a little bit, crystals, but I doubt that it's a place for summer vacation. No, if you know what I mean. Okay. Yeah, we were neighbors, close by. Let's see. I feel safe from crime here, safe from most natural disaster and weather. Me too. Same. Let me add Robert to the stream.
What's up, brother Dan?
Hey, what's up, Robert? How's it going?
It's going, brother. It's going.
All right, so how come we don't get warning advisories for those? I guess we do. I guess if you went into the Philippine
Well,
embassy.
Sammy, what do you mean for like the weather? You mean?
No.
Oh.
Travel advisories. Why aren't we getting travel advisories from the Philippine State Department or Philippine Embassy saying, caution, if traveling to the United States?
Oh.
Right? Because they're doing it for the Philippines. They're ranked number 59. 59 that ain't bad, you know? That ain't bad.
No.
But I don't really know what they're using as a unit of measure, you know, as far as to say that they're ranked 59. I've never been afraid being here.
No, from my understanding, even when I was there, Dan, the Philippine people were not violent people, and I don't know where all these people get these misconceptions. Don't go here, don't go there. It's a bunch of baloney, because anywhere you go in the world, if you're an unruly, not nice person, of course somebody's going to do something about it. Correct?
Crystal's funny. She says, "I'll go inside the fridge at summer because I don't have a passport to fly to Iceland."
But you know what I mean? It doesn't matter where you go in the world. If you're a bad person, you do bad things, you're going to get dealt with, right?
Right. Exactly.
But the Philippine people are just a very beautiful people.
I mean, let's face it. You can't be stupid walking around this late at night in the Ermita or any other section of Manila. You know.
Of course.
I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing out there in the middle of the night? You know.
Well, if you're out that late at night, you're up to doing something you ain't supposed to be doing anyway.
That's right. You're a target for crime.
Yeah.
And it works in any city in the world. I don't care where you're at.
There you go.
Right. So anyway, it caught my attention that I wasn't expecting. Truth be told, you know, I would have thought that the United States was a much safer place, because there's a guy that I want to call your attention to that did a video on this. He was talking about all the comments that he had to put up with when he announced to his family and friends that he was living to the Philippines. I went through the same thing. It's like he was there. But I imagine that for some of you that are making your way here, you're going to have to go through the same thing, listening to your friends and family. And what he was talking about is, you know, the first thing they wanted to ask is, when are you coming back? You know, and then you would tell them, well, I'm planning on staying forever. What? What's wrong with living in the United States? And then he would go over the fact that, oh, it's very expensive to live in the country. I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to wait until my retirement years in order to enjoy it. I want my family also to experience travel. You know, it gives a laundry list of things. And it's like he said, they don't even hear him. It's like they just completely, you know, close their ears when he's given the reason as to why he wants to live in the Philippines or mention or travel anywhere else around the world. And then they would say to him, but things are better in the United States. Folks will think that you have lost your mind. they start telling them these things, right? I said, well, yeah, the losing of the mind thing, you know. Oh, they only consider 142, and they're over 180 countries, and that would definitely change things. That would change the stats. So I wonder if it would move the U.S. any higher. You know, if you included the rest, would it move the U.S. up the list a little bit? Well, anyway, so so he talks about this, and that YouTube channel is, I think this YouTube title was American for the Philippines, or maybe that's his channel, Dr. Laway, Laway. This video, America for the Philippines, got 110K views, was published on September 14th, 2022. So it's recent, and has 25.4K subscribers. So, you know, he had to put up with the whole thing, you know, and also the obvious comments. Which is, oh, you're only going over to the Philippines so you could have unprotected sex with young, beautiful women. Let me think about that. Would that be a reason why I would want to go to the Philippines? Right? Yeah, they only hear what they want to hear. That is absolutely true, Leonard. They only hear what they want to hear, and they reject the ideas, you know, that they dislike. You know, they filter through them. But my experience with the people that came to me with the same type of approach was that, well, the people coming to you are the ones that have never traveled anywhere all over the world. They've never traveled any place. You know, if they went across town, that would have been a long distance event, you know?
Yeah.
In other words, they never have gone anywhere, and they have no experience with it.
How you doing, Larry?
People that live in New York, which is just a few miles from Canada, and won't go to Canada. You know, it's really, some people just don't want to go anywhere. So,
That's true.
Hey, Brother Robert, how you doing? Dan?
I'm doing good, Brother Larry.
Thank
How
for
are
having me
you?
up.
Doing fine. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being on the panel. Tim said that,
but the thing is, Dan,
yeah.
The reason that I've learned a lot of things that I've learned is watching your channel, doing my own research, and other people on YouTube is how I found out the things that I've needed to know.
I appreciate
Hey,
that.
Crystal, Annie, how you doing? I had to get myself a Coke Zero. You have to have your coffee, but it's evening, so I have to have my Coke Zero.
Yeah, I got my coffee like Dan, so
Yeah, there you go. You gotta have it.
I'm getting an old
So-
man. If I drink coffee late at night, I don't want to go to sleep.
yeah, that's true.
And so,
Tim is saying here that he decided to move to the Philippines to be with a 20-year-old lady, and he was told he was robbing the cradle. I said she was robbing the senior center.
I'm going to be honest. If I want to visit the Philippines, but if I ever moved there, it would not be for somebody that's in their 20s. I'm sorry. That's not. Hey, more power to the guys that want that. If the girls want it, as long as everybody's of legal age and legally consent to it, go ahead, go for it. But I want somebody a little closer to my own age. I mean, I don't want them my age, but closer to it.
Yeah, I get that. I do.
Yeah.
I think Crystal's making an excellent point here. You know, that family matters, sir. Dan, when we have a blind spot, it's hard to handle. That's true. That is true. I've kind of experienced that myself on a couple of occasions.
Well, some of you already know I won't even go to the Philippines right now unless things changes real quick because, well, I got a 96-year-old mother. You know, she's in a nursing home. Matter of fact, I'm going to be going home to visit the family here pretty soon. I will make a live stream before I go, and I may make one on my way back in a hotel room because I'll be coming back on a Saturday night. But that's a couple of weeks from now.
Well, you're doing your regular stream on Saturday, right?
Yeah, I do my stream on Saturday. Everybody's welcome. As Dan and you both know, I like to have people come up. We'll talk. You can tell us about your channel. Tell us about yourself. And I think, is trying to finally copy me because they'll tell you I can talk and I can talk for hours.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love being on your channel. I do apologize for the past 2 streams, Larry, because
Oh, hey,
for
things
some
happen,
reason
man.
I overslept so bad it was.
Like I said, things happen. I mean, I had some people come
Yeah,
up last week that hadn't come up for before,
yeah.
and I.
But I'll be there to support your channel either way.
But like I said, I like Crystal. I'd love to have Crystal come up. I just don't know how comfortable she would be doing it. Hey, look, somebody's English is not very good. That's fine because my any other language is rotten. I mean,
Hey, hey, Crystal, I'm American and my English is not that good.
hey, I speak excellent sailors language. It's just that's not allowed on YouTube.
Yeah.
I told you I got that mug that says I got the vocabulary of a well-educated sailor.
Yep.
We all know what that means.
That's it. Sorry, Dan. I know you were talking about something.
Sorry, Dan.
Oh, I'm just looking at Crystal's comment. Yeah, that's right. I'm viewing things through a certain lens. Of course, people in the Philippines, they have aspirations and dreams of travel.
Oh yeah. Hey Daisy, man, how you doing? I will get to your channel and watch a few more videos.
Well, yeah, that's true. But see, just like I said, the decision that I made, Dan, was I was there. Hey, Buddha. I was there in the service. Fell in love with the country. Fell in love with the people.
Well, I worked with a bunch of Filipinos in the Navy. Yeah. We served together.
Yeah, and that's the whole reason when I got of age, I wanted to spend the rest of my life there in my older years.
Well, like I said, I was in supply. I was a ship serviceman. I don't know if you all know what that was because it's no longer a rate. I was a barber. I worked in the laundry. I ran the soda fountain, which is the candy store. I filled up the vending machines. And a lot of my sidekicks in my division were Filipino, blacks and white. I mean, we were almost 1/3 of each. And we got along great because everybody respected each other and everybody did their job. And I enjoyed that. And as Dan will attest, because he's heard me talk before, I love talking to people. And I love travel. That runs in my family. My father was a truck driver. We all like to travel. Like you said, I've been to the Philippines. I was in the Navy, been there a couple times. I've been to Taiwan. I've been to Japan.
Yep.
I've been to Hong Kong. And now, as a civilian, I've been to Canada many times.
Did you ever make it to Korea in the service?
No, but I did make it as a civilian to China itself.
Okay, I did. I made it to China. I made it to China in the service, and I made it to Australia in the service.
Like I said, I was in Hong Kong, but back then, it was China, but the British were over it. It was a British, controlled area. And I never made mainland China because they frowned upon sailors going into mainland China.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And so back in 99, I went for 3 weeks to China, had a blast. I wasn't vlogging back. I wasn't even on YouTube back then. One of these days, I'll have to get my pictures taken and that I've got and try to make maybe a slideshow from because, I was in Beijing. We went to the palace, Tiananmen Square, the Emperor's Palace, or Forbidden City, they call it. Then we went to the graveyards of some of the emperors. Went to the Great Wall, and we went to a little place called, I think it's pronounced Zhangzhou or Zuzan.
Hey, Larry.
And that's where the Shaolin Temple's at. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Larry, let me interrupt you for a second. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but Tim is talking about the age thing, and the Filipina P has a new video up where she's talking about this. She has an attorney that she's interviewing, and they're talking about the what ifs, challenges, of, what do you do if you discover that, well, they talk a little bit about the age of consent, and then they also talk about what to do if you've been scammed. So if you want to go over Filipina Peace channel, and she's got a new video up.
Yeah, that just came up
discusses
today. I
it.
haven't seen it yet. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of the Filipina P.
Yeah.
She's it's probably Gracie if it's a lawyer. She's interviewed Gracie.
Oh no, I was surprised it wasn't Gracie. It was a
Be right back, guys.
yeah, it was a male. It was a young male who's only been a lawyer. He just passed the bar 5 or 6 months ago.
Okay, because I know Tuesday's video she was with RJ. That's the guy that does that helps you with your your SSRs, your retirement visas.
Oh, JR
that?
Consulting. Yeah, JR Consulting.
She did a video with him. They were talking
I'm a
about
fan.
how Philippines is going to open up where you don't even have to be vaxxed to come back. And but they said it's going to be it's going to happen, but it might be another. They're getting all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, and they talk about the One Health Pass is being dropped, and they got something else they're coming up with, which is supposed to be a lot simpler. And you don't have to have the test taken if you're not vaxxed until you get to the country. But I think you have to be like.
Well, from my understanding, what I've heard is now they're saying you don't need to be vaccinated.
Yeah, that's what I said. There's a test that you got to do if you're not vaxxed.
Yeah.
Antigen test.
That's it. But you can either do it before you leave, or you can do it upon arrival. Now, myself personally, I've been vaxxed. All right, I've got the 2, then the booster. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the 4th booster, but those that have been vaxxed, they don't have to do anything. They just, I think, probably be checked to see if they got a fever or something. Probably.
Mhm.
The others, they get that test done upon arrival, and I think they're going to have to quarantine for like maybe 5 days.
Yeah.
And that's nothing. I mean, it depends on how long you're going. I mean, if you're
guess what the suggestion was about the age thing that the attorney had to say, right? Document everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, I said take pictures of everything. So, like, let's say that you've been chatting with someone and you've asked all these questions up front. The attorney is saying make sure you have copies of those chats.
Well,
where deceit is involved, deceit can be used as a defense.
Oh, yeah. Well, I told you why I put down that I'm in a relationship, right? I was getting all kinds of requests for chatting, and I don't mind chatting, but some of these you could tell were scammers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, one was asking me for money the first time we talked. A couple of them actually.
Yeah.
I mean, no couth whatsoever. And then the others, you could tell they were trying to, hey, here's let's change pictures. Here's want to see my kids.
Yeah.
No, I'm just wanting friendship. I'm not looking.
Yeah. Larry, I heard it all when I was on them. My uncle. I live with my auntie and my uncle, and I have money, but I need this much to get this money released. Blah blah, and
I had one tell me that they needed my phone number so they can get their phone number because for some reason they had to have somebody else's phone number to get their phone number released.
Yeah,
So
exactly. There's some crazy
no, I'm
stuff.
not giving you my phone number.
There's some crazy stuff they come up with, and there's most definitely.
Oh, and like I said, but some of these were not in the Philippines. This is off the new Facebook page I put up with, Lazy Larry Lee. And I mean, some right here in the States was doing, at least that's where they claim to be. I mean, you got them all.
You got them all over. You got them all over the world, Larry. One of the biggest hot spots was down there in West Africa.
Yeah, but I also had some down in Australia. It's like, man, I started this new channel more to meet other YouTubers and maybe get something going that way.
And just to get some info out there to guys.
Yeah, but
now they surf Facebook pages.
Yeah.
They take pictures, they take videos, they will copy or try to hack your Facebook page to be able to get in the door and scam people.
Yeah, but
Hey, guys,
Yeah.
Buddha's talking about something here. I'm just kind of curious what Buddha's referring to. It says, Dan, don't you know the new law for foreigners? There are a lot of laws that are. You mean immigration laws?
It
I
may
had
be
no clue.
the new SIM law. Have you heard about that one? This new SIM card law.
Oh
You're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
have to
yeah,
be
yeah. I heard
registered.
about that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a sexual harassment statute.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, they got one. They got one for your phone too.
that's
I
what I'm
think.
talking about. The SIM phone.
Yeah.
The
You
SIM
got to
card for
have
your phone.
a registered SIM card for the Philippines with a Philippine
Right.
number.
That's
And
right.
it's got to be registered to the you. You can't be you. I guess before you could go in and get a SIM card and you didn't have to register it. But now they're saying, but is it going to be just foreigners or is it going to be everybody? But
Everybody has to
Yeah,
have it.
I'm not clear on that how that works. I know they did pass that for the SIM card.
I can't remember.
Everybody has to register it.
Yeah, but I can't remember whether it was the P or Steven. One of them was saying, well, a lot of Filipinos don't have an address, but they have phones. So how are you going to do that?
Don't know.
Well, Buddha just said something that you had up there. I don't know what. I didn't get a chance to read it.
There's a point that Leonard's making that amuses me. He says, I've had at least twice as many scammers from the U.S. than anywhere else in the world.
Oh, of course. They're everywhere.
I'll read you what Buddha said. She said, if you try to talk to a Filipina and she feels bothered or just wants to be rude, she can call the police and you will be arrested on the spot. From what I hear, that's not true. She can cause you a great deal of harm, but
That
be more than just her word that you did something wrong.
Yeah, that law was in effect because a lot of foreigners went over there and tried to take advantage of Filipinos.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, no, it's got to be, from my understanding, there's got to be something else besides just her word. Because they know that she may be doing it because, well, you might have turned her down or broke up with her. Now she's mad at you, and so she's trying to get back at you.
Yep. Very true.
Buddha says it is true because it's on the governor's side.
Well, it may be something new then, because some of the vloggers there were saying no, because unless you cause trouble, because a lot of times in your province, they know her or they know you, and if you're one that doesn't cause any trouble, they're a little more apt to believe you than her. There can't be just her word, from my understanding.
Oh yeah, it's not.
I could be wrong because I've never been in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that law is gonna work where it's a she said and you're screwed kind of thing.
Yeah, because no, that would really get some things. Yeah,
Governor signed the Philippines says that's why they. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Larry.
They won't arrest you right away. They'll investigate it first.
Yeah, they're not just going to lock you up automatically. They're going to investigate.
Yeah, I think the advice that the lawyer gave on Filipina Peace site was valid advice. I mean, it's good advice to follow. But also, here's the other thing. I'm afraid we probably have come to the point where we have to start taking pictures and recording video and doing all the stuff.
Dan, it's probably going to be the same bloody thing here.
Well, I was about ready to say that.
I mean, because let's be honest about it. The way things are going, when you're accused of sexual harassment, they just assume you're guilty in a lot of instances, and what are you going to do? I mean, I understand if you say, "Hey, lady, you got a nice, whatever." That's wrong.
Who would say that to somebody, though? Really?
20 years ago, me. It used to be when that was more than 20 years ago, but it used to be you could flirt with the waitresses. You went into it and ordered something eat and stuff.
We don't usually open up with a conversation like that in the Philippines. You usually will just ask, are you,
No, no, no. I'm saying here in the States.
yeah, yeah.
We used to go in a restaurant and order something to eat, and you'd tell a girl, "Hey, you're gorgeous," and nothing was thought about it, or something like that. Nowadays, you go in and say you're gorgeous to somebody, she looks at you and says, "You're a fat old man. I don't want you talking to me that way." She complains about sexual harassment. So nowadays, you can't even give them even if it's a total innocent one, like, "Hey, you're looking good today." Don't say it.
You can't even do that here, Larry, in
That's what
America.
I'm saying. You can't do that here. But like I said, 20 years ago, you could do that here. You can't now.
I mean,
no, you can't ask anybody. You can't
anything
ask
you can
anybody
say.
what their marital status is.
No, I'm just saying you can't even tell her that she looks nice.
Yeah, anything you say now it can be construed as sexual harassment. I mean, and you're just being friendly.
Yeah, and like I said, with no intent of trying to pick. Let's be honest about it. I know I'm old, fat, and ugly, and I'm broke. There's nothing that a woman wants with me in this.
Oh, you're the guy. You're the guy for me, Larry.
I'm your wingman. You really pick him up if I'm there. Look at me and go, let's go to him. He's better looking.
Yeah, I would say Buddha's correct on this. It's worldwide. It's
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, you used to be.
It's about social control. It's
like I said, you used to be able to go in and it was just considered harmless flirtation. She never took it serious. You never, I'm not saying there weren't some guys that were trying to actually pick them up.
Yeah,
they usually could tell the difference.
Yeah, there's some kind of movements that are impacting. They're trying to influence the Philippines, and there are people complaining about Westerners going over there, and
well, the why.
Well, what the main issue is, guys, is Westerners are going over there, getting these girls pregnant, and then disappearing. And not taking responsibility of the child. And
issue in the Philippines. I think the main issue over here in the States with the guys going over there is that.
Oh, Buddha, you watch Mike's? Oh, man, I'll tell you, every time I watch Mike's, I kind of just cringe,
But anyway, like I said, what I think the main issue with the women over here, with the men going over there, is that, well, you know how liberal and anti-male the feminists have become over here in the States.
Oh yes.
All right. Well, now they're complaining because the men are saying, "Look, I don't want to put up with this. I want a more traditional relationship."
Yeah.
I want a more, And so they go over there and it's like, well, you just want that young girl. No, I want a girl that's going to treat me with respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Going to try to make the relationship work, and I don't have to kowtow to her.
Crystals, wait a minute, Crystals.
I think everybody knows now about me and Sammy.
Yeah.
The thing is, love is love.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
And we love each other, and we respect each other, and we want to be with each other. And
I'm going to tell you something.
Crystals in the United States, even if you go up and ask a person, "Are you single?"
That's harassment.
That's harassment. That's considered to be harassment. So in the Philippines, you can certainly go up to a young lady working, let's say, retail clothing at one of the malls at SM, and you could say, I noticed, I just want to ask you if you were single or not, and you don't get in trouble for that.
Like I said, you can walk in, like I said, 20 years ago here, and ask a girl that. Now, she could tell you, you're too ugly for me. I'm sure some have told me that more than once. But you weren't going to get harassed about it.
That's true.
Now, the last 10 or 15 years, it's gotten progressively worse.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Larry.
Because like I said, I used to go in to the same restaurant. Some of the girls probably knew me. And they knew I was just playing around, having a good time. And I'd go in and say, "Oh, you look really nice today." They'd say, "Thank you." I knew I didn't have, they were either married or they were dating. A lot of the girls I knew who
Uh,
were husbands or their boyfriends, but it was just harmless flirtation. It was,
did you read what Crystal wrote in the chat?
yeah, she told me to zip my mouth and to not end up in jail. But
So no,
Eddie,
in the
that's
Philippines,
impossible for me.
the direction I think they want to go is if you, like, for example, if you ask somebody that if they're available or not, and they say no, they're not, then that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
I agree
But
with That's what it should be.
most Filipinos, they're not buying this crap.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it should be that way here in the States. You should have the right to ask someone, and they have
Yep.
the right to say no. And once they say no, if you ask again, then you're harassing.
Yeah, and if you ask again, that's
There's
harassment.
pushback.
And they
There's-
don't like it from the get-go without ever telling you no the first time.
There's
And like I said, it could be completely on your looks.
there's pushback coming from some of the females here in the Philippines.
So I'm just
Quite
saying,
well,
frankly.
Yeah, well, what Larry just said, though, Dan, is true. You say once, they say no, move on. If you say
Right.
the second time, it could be considered as a harassment.
I mean, you'll lose your job even for saying it the first time.
oh, I will. Yeah. In my line of work, I can lose my job easily.
Well, one of my friends lost a job by just telling one of the female coworkers that she looked good.
So I said,
And then she went to the boss and said, I was being sexually harassed. He lost his job.
yeah. So I said,
And he was just being innocent, saying that you look very nice,
oh yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's getting crazy.
And then, like I said, there's a lot of reasons why I want to move to the Philippines.
Well,
And it's just everything around here is in the United States now is just so whacked out. It's unreal.
oh yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, there's so many crazy, wacky, retarded, stupid things going on.
And there are
You all right there, Dan? Or are you storm fluctuating there?
Oh, I was looking for. I had to turn off my fan and my AC unit. It was getting too
Now,
cold.
I
in
got a
here.
question. Can you guys hear my fan? I got my fan going.
No, we
No.
can't hear
All right,
No.
good. I got it. It's underneath my desk, blowing up.
it.
Well, if I have it on my desk, I know you can hear it.
Well, no, I think at that one time you were doing something we could hear blowing into the microphone.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said that's when it was up.
That's why we were asking Sean if his window was open.
But like I said, that's what I had
So,
it up where it would blow across the desk, but it was blowing. You could see the fuzz on the dead cat blowing,
Yeah.
and so it's like, well, I put it down below. So I like to keep my bedroom warm.
Well, I don't know if this is true or not. That it's going this way. It's only my. I have thought about it. Are they trying to? Are they trying to export feminism? The idea of feminism to the Philippines. Yeah, it has crossed my mind. And then who would they be? Who would they be?
Feminists.
And then what would be the reason for it?
I think because they want to stop the Western men from coming over.
Well, there have been a lot of complaints by Western women saying that, you're removing, the men going over there. They're saying pretty horrible things. You know what I'm saying, Larry?
Well, the Filipino P has a thing on that.
Yeah.
She did. I think she's done a couple videos where the feminists and she's talked to the some college age girls about feminism. They believe they're feminists, but they don't believe in what the feminists over here think. They believe in equal pay, which they should. They believe in some of those things, which they got. So they're saying it's like,
that's a good point that Crystal's making. She's right about
that. That is a good point.
Yeah, they sue for harassment civilly. You can see it could be a criminal offense, but it could also be a civil offense.
Yep. And
So
black.
you would be stuck trying to defend yourself in a civil court.
You know, there are
Yeah.
people out there that actually do stuff like that. That's how they survive. That's how they
I was accused of something.
lawsuits.
This is the honest God truth. I was accused of it, and lucky for me, there was 2 other witnesses that were there. And she tried to claim that I was blocking her from leaving the office. And I was standing at one door, but there was all she had to do was turn right, and there was another door. She could have walked right out.
Hmm.
But because I was standing at this one door, I was holding her against her will, and some other things, and her sidekick, who she got along with, and the guy I was going to be working with, both were there. And so they had to come in and do an investigation. And both the person she worked with, and the person I was going to work with was there, like I said, and they both said, no, this is what happened. They agreed with me. All I did was I told her she left. I showed up for work one day and I was going to go in and go to the bathroom. I was early. As soon as I walked in, she took off and left. And so I stopped and I was standing there and I was telling her, hey, I don't like this. Next time, ask me before you go, because I was thinking about going to the bathroom. I was looking to see if I had time. And she got all and started cussing at me and everything else. Well, she tried to tell them. I started cussing at her and yelling at her when she started all that. Like I said, both the people that were there backed me up. She started to cussing. She started to yelling.
So Mike here in the chat
I
is
was lucky
suggesting
'cause I had
that
witnesses.
our Americanized Philippines returning to PI and importing it. I don't think so.
I don't believe that either.
Yeah. I just don't think so.
I don't believe that one
I've never
myself.
seen it.
I've been to one Asian country, guys, where the women have been really truly affected by Western ways, and that was Korea. The women there act just like American women in some ways.
The only thing I'm going to say about the Filipino women coming back and maybe influence it some is probably the ones that were raised in the States.
Yeah,
the ones that were born and raised in the Philippines and then went over. I'm talking about.
Well, I wouldn't truly say that, because Kuya Gore's wife doesn't, act that way.
But was she born and raised in the States? And there
she
again,
was born. I think she's born in the Philippines, but she moved to the States, and she's been there with Kuya Gore. She's been married for.
That were born in the States and really wasn't raised in their own culture.
Yeah.
All right, because and I know from the military, there's a lot of Filipinos that served in the military.
Yeah.
And some of the kids run around with the other kids of military people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the kids their age were not Filipino. They were.
Hey, by the way,
Caucasian, black, or
by the way,
yeah.
Can I sue for harassment? Crystal, you still around? Did you guys see the video where the 3 schoolgirls were walking by and one of them said, "Hi, Daddy"?
Yeah, I saw that one.
She said it twice. She said it twice. And my wife was standing right there.
Yeah, and then the other girls laughed.
And they laughed. Yeah, and I was like, holy smokes, I've been waiting my entire life to hear those words.
Wow.
Well, can't I sue them for harassing me?
Well, in the States you could.
Oh my goodness gracious. I was laughing. My wife was like, we sat down when we got into that hamburger junction. My wife just started laughing and go, "Did you hear that?" I go, "Yeah." She just started shaking her head laughing.
Well, like I said, here in the States, you can sue for sexual harassment.
Oh, by the way, Dan,
our age discrimination.
By the way, Dan, that Jollibee's is supposed to be opening in like 2 months in Chantilly here.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Mr.
Hey,
Bean,
by the way, I think I mentioned it in the last live stream, but that Jollibee sandwich, that chicken sandwich, looks so yummy on TV and all that. I mean, here in the Philippines, I think the recipe is different. I think it's made to
Well,
appeal to the taste buds of Filipinos, not Americans.
Dan, everything, like even in the States, when you watch a McDonald's commercial and you see a picture of Big Mac, but when you get home or you're in the restaurant and you open up the package and go, that don't look like the TV commercial.
That's true.
I mean, the first bite I took in one of them chicken sandwiches, I had to put it down, and it caught the attention of one of the managers. And the manager came running over. Man, is there a problem with that sandwich? I go, take it away.
What was wrong with
Now
it?
what? Now
Huh?
is their chicken sandwich known? Is it?
Yeah, I
like
gave him
spice?
a big lecture. I gave the manager a big lecture saying, you know what? Here's number one about the sandwich, right? You can't put mystery meat in it. You can't take all the innards and everything and put them all together and then fry it. And then you can't fry this in rancid grease.
Yeah.
You know, I realized then that nobody was ordering it. You know, it took 15 or 20 minutes for them to get it out to me. And then when they did, I bit into it and I go, oh no. I go, this ain't going to work. It ain't like it cannot compete. Let's say, I'll be nice by saying it. There's no way it'll compete with Popeye's sandwich.
Yeah, Popeyes has got a pretty good chicken sandwich.
Yeah, no way close. And I think if they were trying to do that, they got to go back to the drawing board.
Well, see, Popeyes uses real chicken breast meat. You can see it when you bite into it.
Well,
So
Well, I think on the box on the Jollibee it says made from chicken parts.
oh,
Dan, who was it that had that commercial about chicken nuggets? That goes, somebody asked what kind of meat? It goes, parts is parts.
well, you know
Yeah.
what? You know what, Larry? I got an
Yeah.
order now. I'm going to tell a story about McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Oh,
I got an order where it wasn't cooked. I bit into it. It wasn't solid. It came out like a goo.
Yeah.
So it doesn't solidify until after it's fried.
So in other words, it's parts is parts.
Yeah, like a liquid inside of it, breaded.
Yeah. But I can't remember if it was Wendy's or somebody was talking about somebody's chicken nuggets and it's like that. Where's the beef? Remember that commercial?
Yeah, yeah.
And somebody said, "Well, what's the chicken parts?
Where's the
What kind of
chicken?
parts? Parts is parts." Instead of being chicken breast, because they were advertising theirs were all white meat, you know.
Yeah,
And
but
they were
Dan is
parts is
yeah.
parts.
Yeah, Dan is correct about Popeyes. Because when you actually pull one of theirs apart, it pulls apart like an actual piece of chicken.
Well, I'll tell you somebody else that does a really good chicken here in the States is A&W.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
An A&W root beer stand and get their chicken sandwich is really good.
Crystal.
I don't have a
Mr.
Popeyes near me.
Mr. Bean
I've
and
had Popeyes.
DW are in the house. Welcome, Mr. Bean.
Hello, Mr.
How you
Bean.
doing, Mr. Bean?
And then we got Mike. Hey, Joe. Here.
Yep, Mac K. Joe, who's from California, going to be coming to Bye-Bye in a few years, I hope.
Yeah, that's what he said in the chat, that he's still in California. He's not in there yet.
Yeah, Dan, I just read Crystal's. She goes, "Oh, that nuggets is made from whole chicken, from feather to bones."
Yeah.
Where did she say that? Where did she
It's in
say
the chat. It's down below.
Yeah. Everything is ground up and pressed into one thing.
Right there.
Oh my goodness gracious, that is hecka funny. You know something? So listen, I don't want to get sued by Jollibee, but I also noticed this. I also noticed that none of the Filipinos were ordering that sandwich either.
Well,
So-
that's a good thing to take notice of what the locals order. It's
And
like,
Overstay Road did a video where he was doing a review, and he took one bite and put the sandwich down. And he says, "Well, that must be made for Filipino taste, you know." He didn't review the sandwich.
I think that there's another guy that I've been, coming to Sammy's streams. His name's Philip Janik. He's in Thailand right now. And he been saying something about these pork balls right on the stick. He said, and he took one bite and he gave one to a cat, right? he said the cat ate one. He put a second one down, and the cat pushed it back.
So, when I was in the Philippines in Subic Bay, they used to have those carts at night, and they'd have the barbecued meat on there. We always said it was mystery meat. It could be pork, chicken. You didn't know. I mean, but who cared? It tasted good. So we had it.
Now we're talking, Mike. We're talking Jollibee. We're talking that they came out with a new crispy sandwich they're trying to push. I'll tell you, they could push that sandwich right
to
off
the trash. Well, see, they're known for their grilled chicken sandwiches, aren't they, Dan?
Huh? What's that?
They're known for their grilled chicken sandwiches, aren't they?
No, I don't know about that, but everything is fried in the Philippines, except for
there was one vlogger now that one of the chicken sandwiches he really liked, but I don't know. It might be his taste is different, or it might be just a different restaurant. Different Jollibees might, like you said, they're using the rancid grease. Maybe they use good grease. Maybe they got a better cut of meat.
Mike, 07 was your last visit to Bye Bye Leyte. Man, where have you been?
Oh my goodness!
Hey,
that's a long time
ago. Guys. He's been there since I have. Okay,
things have changed so much.
I've never been to Bye Bye, but he's been to the Philippines since
I'm going to be honest, Dan. When I was tracking this thing and how big it was getting, the storm. And I asked Sammy, I said, so where is Dan at again? I said, is that near where the mudslides happened on the last storm? And she said, no, Dan's a little bit far away from that. I said, good. But I was worried about the way this storm was going to dump all this rain, that there was going to be mudslides again.
Rain. Dan, how's Melanie doing? She was in that one area where she got flooded. She had all that water running through her place.
Yeah, she's flooded. That river overflowed, and she's underwater.
Is she flooded again?
Well, what the last time I spoke to Sammy, she said there was mass flooding in her area, and they had deaths.
Wow. We have two barangays that are underwater here in Bye Bye.
I hope Melanie and her family's all right.
So
she's in Caridad, so they got flooded.
And that's what the concern was with the storm, is all the moisture it's packing and how much water it was going to drop.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they had another storm go through there. That's before you moved back there, Dan. Remember?
Well, I mean, the way I've been following it, and there were two storms out there, Larry. And what it was, and that's the reason it sat stalled off the coast for 3 or 4 days. Those two storms merged,
combined,
and then they made one huge storm. And it's if you look on the radar, it's covering pretty much the whole Philippines.
You're right, and not everybody has the same taste for food or clothing.
That's absolutely true.
That's right. There's such a wide variety.
Sorry, I didn't mean to change the subject, Dan. I apologize.
Oh, it's no problem.
I just noticed what Annie said that she's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I happen to like tuna, but I don't care for regular fish.
Now, you like tuna steak, you mean?
Yeah.
I love tuna too.
But I don't like fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tim's chiming in and saying food in the Philippines is definitely not prepared following the American recipe.
Nope. Hey, I'll tell you what, you go to any Asian country and they don't follow Americans.
There's a Filipino store right down the road from me, Dan, not even 2 miles down the road, that sells all Filipino stuff.
Yeah, but do they sell it Filipino style, or do they sell it?
They said it's actually the same stuff that they sell in the Philippines.
Yeah, because I mean, you go to a Chinese restaurant, and you can tell a difference if it's geared towards the American taste or the Asian taste.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's real easy. The first bite will tell you pretty much.
That's true.
The bone's still in the meat. If the bone's still in the meat, it's towards the Asian taste. And that's the truth. I mean, like I said, when I was in China, I don't care what you ordered. They didn't take the bone out. You know, that's the way they cooked it. They chopped
Oh,
the
man,
bone
I
up
heard-
and everything and cooked it all.
I heard
together.
about that, Mike.
The whole thing with me, Larry and Dan, is since my strokes, I don't eat fried stuff anymore, and I watch what I eat.
Yeah.
So
Well-
I mean, I don't eat at McDonald's anymore, or Burger King, or any places like that anymore.
Hey,
So-
Aileen, didn't see you come in, Aileen.
Aileen Cruz is in the house.
Yeah, welcome. I hope you. But like I said, though, I really don't eat rice very much or noodles anymore because I'm diabetic. Now, I do love the stuff, and I will occasionally eat it, but I got to really be careful and not eat too much of it like I used to. Man, I can make just rice and mixed vegetables and make a big old couple plates of that. And I'd be satisfied with that, but I can't have that much rice anymore.
So I just try to cook at home now, and like you were mentioning, I get the tuna steaks,
Yeah,
and I'll either
bake them or
cook them
grill
in the
them.
oven or something like that, you know.
I got a stovetop grill.
Yeah, and I
Cast iron stovetop grill.
I need to look into getting one of those.
Well, they're really nice. Now, if you got gas, it works better, but it'll work with electric. I had a gas stove at my last place. This place I got electric.
Yeah, I got a gas stove here. So the last time I
They
took
work
one of
great.
those tuna
They
steaks,
work great with they work great with the gas.
yeah,
I think they work better with gas.
but
What I do is I do the grill just like I would a grill outside. I put aluminum foil over it, which makes it easier to clean up.
mhm.
And I'll grill hamburgers or hot dogs or steak or pork chops and chicken breast. And matter of fact, I grill. It's big enough that I can fix 2 meals at one time. So one half I'll take a chicken breast and cook it up there, and on the other half I'll cook pork chops, and I grill them up. And then
Welcome, Angela. Welcome, Angela.
Hello,
Hello,
Angela. How you
Angela.
doing? But so anyway, that's what I do, and I've been doing it for years. I didn't have a cast iron the first time, and when I came up here with the electric, it kind of warped that one. But I had it for years, so I thought, we'll get a cast iron one this time because it's not going to warp.
Well,
It's
it's
got a
like I
lot more.
said,
I have some
after I'd had that major stroke, though, Larry's when I changed my diet drastically. So
Thank you.
And Crystal, I agree with you. I love stir fry food. Yeah, I love that stuff. Now I have to go with what is known here in the States as a California blend, which is broccoli and cauliflower and carrots and stuff like that. No green beans, no corn, because they're not corn. No corn or peas. I can have green beans because they're higher in carbohydrates. So it's better to cut those out. But
Oh my God, is that the answer, Larry? Is that the answer?
What's that?
Cut the carbs?
Oh yeah, for diabetic, you gotta
that's
cut
what
the
they
carbs.
say is the carbs. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the carbs. It's the carbs that affects our sugar.
Yep.
All right. So if you're
You're telling me
diabetic-
this? I just had 2 donuts. I just had 2
Yeah, but
Dunkin'
are
Well,
Donuts.
you always have donuts,
Are
Dan.
you a diabetic? Dan, are
No.
you a diabetic?
Philippines runs on Dunkin'.
I know, but Dan, are you diabetic?
Nope.
All right, then you. If you ever become a diabetic, you'll have to watch your carbs. Otherwise, go have fun. Because believe me, I love donuts too. But I'm going to admit that I like something that the Filipinos like that some Americans don't. I like Spam.
Oh yeah.
I love Spam. I love
I cut it
Spam.
up
Can't
with
get enough
I
of
do.
it.
I do
Fry
too,
it
but I
with
can't.
vegetables, and
I'll have fried
I have
Spam,
rice,
fried Spam and
rice.
eggs, fried Spam scrambled eggs,
Yep.
Spam omelet, Spam burrito.
I've been
Yeah.
You name
I
it.
was a teenager or early 20s, started eating that in the Navy.
Yep.
You can eat it. You don't have to cook it.
Eat it raw.
So,
You can eat right out of the can. Yeah.
you need. So a lot of times I keep
My
a can of that
God.
in my room when I was on shore duty, and in my locker when I was on ship. So if you didn't like what you were having in the mess hall, you had something to eat.
Yeah.
I used to try
Oh.
the what do they call those Vienna sausages. I don't
Yep.
care. I didn't care for them that much, so I quit eating them.
Oh, but hey, just say no to fake spam. That's the one thing I got to say. I cannot stomach the fake spam that they sell. I got to have the real deal.
Dan,
Oh,
I
you
can't
mean
tell
the
you that
ones
'cause I
they
don't-
put on the can, luncheon meat?
Yeah, no, it's got to have, but it's expensive, you know.
Yeah, but
Spam itself is almost $4 for a can.
That's what I'm saying. It's very expensive.
So when I do get it, I don't get it very often because it's pricey.
Yeah.
I buy it by the 6-pack through BJ's, so you get a little bit
Okay.
cheaper.
Oh yeah, you got to buy it by the six pack.
You know. What's this can? That can will last you a real long time as long as you don't damage the can.
Hey, there's nothing better, Mike, than a spam and cheese omelet.
Well, like I said, I always liked it with spam and mixed vegetables and rice.
See, I do mine is
With
I
eggs.
slice mine, Dan, lettuce, tomato, and I make a sandwich out of it.
All right, Annie. I got a question for you. You say you love donuts.
Yeah.
Do you love Dunkin' or Krispy Kreme?
Oh, don't get started because that's unfair. They have Krispy Kreme in the big city, but they have Krispy Kreme in the big city. They don't have it here in Bye Bye Leyte. You know, that's
like
just
both.
air
I'm gonna
with
be
a
honest
bunch
with
of
you.
sugar.
I like both.
Don't get Dan started on that, Larry.
Yeah, they don't have Bavarian cream here.
You know what's even worse than a donut for me there, Dan, and the Dunkin' Donuts? I don't know if they have
What?
or not. That Frappuccino, the iced Frappuccino.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, that's got a lot of sugar.
See, when I go to Starbucks, my weakness, Larry, was them white chocolate, the frozen coffee. Yeah.
The frozen mocha.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's either Starbucks calls them Frappuccino or Dunkin's. They both have the same.
Well, I've had them at Dunkin's, and I like them at Dunkin's and Starbucks, and Wawa gas stations do it too.
I'll drink one every once in a while, but if it was up to me, I'd have one a day. I love those things.
But I got so bad on those things, man. I said, "Oh my God, I got to stop."
Anybody that likes something, I got started on that. Actually, at Wegmans, it's a grocery store out here in this area. Well, not down here, up in Buffalo and Rochester and Pennsylvania.
Those are actually really good stores, man.
Yeah, they are. They're a real good store. Wegmans. You know, that started in Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went in there and I had some dental work, and I wasn't supposed to have anything hot, and I wanted a cup of coffee. So I was in there in their little restaurant area there, and I saw they had what they called an iced cappuccino.
Uh-huh.
And I said, "That's got caffeine in it." And they said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, give me one." I've been hooked every damn since. And this has been, oh God, 15, 20 years.
Wow. I have a friend that they're Cuban. And I remember the first time they brewed coffee for me. Oh my God. After a cup of that stuff, and I was bouncing off the wall like a pinball.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's so much. They drink that stuff strong and very caffeinated.
Well, you go over.
Oh, Tim. Tim needs some canned ham. So okay, Tim.
Canned hams.
Hey Tim, we are the canned hams. My sister Wanda, my oldest sister, who lives up in Rochester, Buffalo area, they went to Europe. I think they just went on vacation, but she's been over there with her husband, who was over there for work. But they went to some restaurant the first time she went, and they said Americano coffee. So she thought American-sized cup of coffee, still these small ones, you know, right? I mean, this regular coffee like Americans drink.
Uh-huh.
It was in a regular sized coffee cup that Americans have, but it was still that espresso.
I
You
mean,
ever had
like I
espresso?
said, when my friend brewed that coffee, Larry,
Well,
it
like
was
I
the
said,
it was the blackest coffee I'd ever seen in my life.
hey Jerry, how you doing, man?
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, that dang storm hit the entire Philippines.
Yeah, it did, brother. It did. Matter of fact, you know why y'all are? If I can bring it up.
Jerry, I hope to see you
I
tomorrow
mean,
night.
it swallowed us whole.
Yeah. Let me get that one where I've been showing that radar to y'all. It's there it is. It's that's what it looks like now. That's what's over the Philippines now. And
Mike.
let me put it in motion. That's it in
And
motion.
Mike, I
But
have
just
to agree
look
with
at the
you.
size.
Olympia
Look at the
is the
size
best.
of that storm, guys.
Yeah,
When
look
I was
at
in
the
Storm Navy
bullseye.
with my girlfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the bullseye is right there near Manila.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit north of Manila.
Yeah.
When I was in the Navy out in San Diego, one of the girls I dated, Filipina, she made Olympia one time for my 22nd birthday. And we were at a bar, that's where she worked. And the lady that owned the bar was I called her mom. She was like the mama son of the bar. And she owned the bar. But they were throwing a party, for me because it was my birthday. And they were sitting there cooking this up fresh, the Olympia.
Jerry's asking me which website that was. Let me sorry,
Now,
Larry. I didn't mean to interrupt
right.
you.
You got to look it up. But anyway,
Yeah.
they were making that. It almost didn't make it past me and Paul, but one of the buddies of mine. We were eating it almost.
Come on,
as they could
fam.
make it. Olympia
Jerry, it's called all right, where did it go now? Jeez, I just had it. Oh, it's called Philippines Zoom Earth. That's it right there. Is Philippines Zoom Earth. And that gives you the whole Philippines and in motion.
Hey, not Tim, Jerry, if you just type Dan, Nightbot will drop your link.
Yeah.
Just type Dan. I don't know if you knew it or not, so wanted to make sure you knew.
But it's in motion right now. It says 8:50 p.m. and this thing is massive. It's covering pretty much of most of the Philippines.
Hey, Minnie, how you doing?
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Hey, man.
Hi.
Robert.
How are
Hi,
you?
I was
My
just
voice is bad.
I was asking her if we had any spam.
Yeah, we have.
We have
Like I said,
Now Dan's happy. There's spam.
breakfast? Spam and eggs for breakfast. Spam and fried eggs.
Yeah.
spam,
All right.
fried mixed vegetables, and rice.
I don't have voice. My voice is gone.
Come on this side.
Rice is life in the Philippines.
There you
There you
go.
are.
Yeah, my
Rice
voice.
is
There's
life.
that many.
I like rice too, Minnie, but it's not good for me. I'm a diabetic, but
Yeah, I try and avoid it. I try and avoid it.
Actually, as far as the carbs go, if you're going to have it, I try to have brown rice because brown rice is better. Wild rice is even better than that. So the darker the rice, they say, is better. Like black rice, but I tried black rice. I don't like it. I can eat brown rice or I can eat wild rice, but I prefer
Yeah, the
white
brown
rice.
rice is good.
I like white rice.
Hey, Tim says hi.
Hi, Tim. I don't have my voice.
I'm losing mine too.
I'm
I
just
think we were
ignoring
out there. I think them boulders got the best of us.
Hi, Robert.
I was telling them the story how we were out there
He
stacking them boulders up.
Really, he said you were out working him. But
Sorry,
believe that.
I kicked myself off my mistake, guys.
Hey, this woman's tough. She scares me sometimes.
You should.
She's Filipina. Of course she's
She's
tough.
like, get out of my way, old man.
She's Filipina. Of course
Yeah,
she's
yeah, hard work yesterday.
Yeah, like I said, Dan, she's just making sure you understand who can whip who. All right,
She's in charge.
you damn right.
No question about it. There's my Bell Taurus right
I
there.
come
She's
from
hanging
a
out.
family of 4 girls.
Mr.
3 boys.
Norris.
The oldest 3 were all girls. Believe me, I know who's in
Where's
charge.
Sammy?
And there's Mike. Mike's.
Hi.
They're coming to bye bye.
Where's Sammy?
Sammy's not here. The place is
Sammy
flooded.
has no power at all.
Yeah,
Money.
Sammy's Powers.
No, they're flooded. They're flooded.
Oh,
She
Yeah.
depleted all.
Maurice.
She
There's
depleted
Maurice.
all of her solar, and she has no electric. So
Leonard says hi.
Yeah.
You have a lot of fans.
you have a lot of fans in
Brown
it.
rice is
There's
better for me.
Crystal.
Crystal.
Crystal's adventure.
Here is still raining a little bit on
Buddha
Monday.
of Destiny.
Hi, Buddha. How are you?
Huh? Signal 2 or Signal 3, I think. Jerry.
I think it probably might depend on what area too. There, Dan. If it's that big,
Yeah.
some areas
Wow.
probably be a little weaker.
Bring
than
a
others.
hum.
well, I showed
Thank
radar,
you.
and what it is
Hum
that
on leg.
Thanks, baby.
We have
it made landfall about, I'd say, 6 hours ago. It made landfall. So now it's about halfway through the Philippines. It hasn't gotten to Manila yet.
Well,
Minnie's going off to get breakfast, so she's going off to prepare spam and eggs for me.
cool.
See how lucky I am?
Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy.
You got a woman
Yeah, and that's a U.S. That's from the U.S. spam, not the local spam.
That's because you took a lot over.
We took boxes and boxes of stuff
Well,
over,
they did. They took
all
a
in
lot
6 packs.
Well, I know when he was doing streams and
Yeah.
he was back there packing up boxes.
Yeah, we were packing that spam away. I'm telling you.
over. Hey, when you know that's something people are going to want, all right, you know that's what they're going to want. One of the things chocolate's another one.
Mhm.
Oh man, we brought over hella chocolate, but it was melted by the time it got over here.
Know about how much in the boxes and everywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen. You know,
Listen,
sometimes
what
it
are you gonna
makes it,
take over?
sometimes it don't.
You're going to take what people want.
That's true.
If you know, now if it's something you happen to like too, that's fine. You take enough that you can get some. But if you want to take over what you like, they're going to get, and rightly so, mad at you. Well,
Don't know,
like
Buddha.
this. Why'd you bring this? Oh, that's for
Don't
me.
know, Buddha. Buddha asked the question and I'm just answering her. Sorry. Don't know how the fish are doing.
I think Sammy was live last night.
She was live last night. We
Yeah,
were
she
in.
was. I was on
We were in
Sammy's
time to get Going's live stream, and Sammy was going to do one last song and then pop, gone.
Oh.
And then me and her connected video chat, and she had completely depleted solar and had no electricity, nothing. So
Hey, by the way, we're getting to. Oh man, we're over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to. I come up with something. This was sort of like tongue in cheek, going back to the countries rated by safety, right? So
Yeah.
I sat down with pen and paper, and I started fooling around because I realized there aren't many travel advisors if you're coming from another country to the Philippines. And so I started thinking, what would the advisory sound like, or how would it read if I were to come up with one, right?
Okay.
And so I came up with one. I just wanted to recite it here. I don't want to, and it's tongue in cheek. It's just to make a little fun, but it goes something like this. If the U.S. State Department issued a travel advisory for the United States, it would read something like this: exercise increased caution when traveling to the United States due to violent crime, the potential of civil unrest, and gang and gun violence. Armed persons or persons may attack with little or no warning, targeting shopping malls, markets, or places where locals gather. The U.S. government has limited ability to provide emergency services to U.S. citizens. Contact your nearest embassy upon your arrival to inform them of your presence in the country. That's pretty funny, I thought.
That's the truth, though.
Yeah, so no wonder there are no travel advisories from other countries coming to the United States. You know, the United States would give them a hassle. You know, entering the country, make them apply for visas and all those sorts of things. Yeah, we had brought Crystal. We had brought a whole bunch of Hershey bars, and
thanks, Mike. I was trying to get to it, but I see you already beat me to it.
What's that, Larry?
Putting up some bull.
18
sex XY Z.
Nobody. I don't have my chat going, so I didn't catch it. I apologize.
I was getting ready to go to it, but Mike blocked it. So, but it's in this chat, but he's got it blocked down here.
It says error occurred.
Timed out by Tim, and then take him out.
Yeah. You figure these guys ain't got nothing better to do but sit in the live stream and want to cause problems.
Yeah, just go ahead and block them completely.
Is that done automatically? I mean,
I think it's AI and just drops it randomly.
Yeah, it's not saying anything dirty.
But either way, it's trying to drop the site, and it's like emoji bombing. It's just it just keeps dropping and dropping. So that's why I think it's an AI doing it.
It could be, but there's guys that'll go out there and do it just because they want to harass a channel.
Yeah, because they want to mess with somebody's live stream.
Their lives suck, so they want to make everybody else's life suck.
They're very true.
I mean, I'm sorry about the terminology there, but
you're correct. That's exactly why they do it.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, just because you're not happy.
Let's see what. I'm going
to tell you all the truth. I'm a poor boy. I don't care if somebody else got more money than me.
Hey, you know what? That's an interesting thought, Mike. So because we were talking about spam, is that why that thing showed up?
Could be.
It could be.
It's the wrong kind of spam, though.
Spam. AI spam, according to Mike here. That's a possibility.
Then why did you mention spam, Dan?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking straight.
Because he wants some spam for his breakfast.
That's right. It is.
I got one can of spam left before I have to go buy another 6-pack or more. I buy it at BJ's, if you know what a BJ's is.
Well, I wonder if the SNR market in the Philippines sells the U.S. spam or the Philippine spam. That's what I'm curious about.
If you get the U.S. spam over there, Dan, it's probably going to be 3 times as expensive as it is here.
Well, it's pretty expensive. I could tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're buying a steak.
I know it's over here across the street. It's almost $4 for a can.
I've had mine for a little bit, so.
Yeah, but I know what BJ's is like Costco and all that, right?
Yeah, it's like Sam's Club, Costco.
Yeah.
Hey Tim, that whole parents' basement thing, we're gonna have to talk about that next time we get together at Tequila Reef. Yeah.
They want us all to live in our parents' basement.
Yeah. I kind of think that myself. We're kind of on the same page that way.
I can't live in my parents' basement. My parents don't have a basement.
Yeah, that was funny, huh, Crystals? I'll bet you that's why it appeared. You know, it probably has some program that monitors chats across YouTube, and then just drops.
Yeah, AI can look for any kind of word.
That's why I think it's AI, because AI looks for certain
words.
Yeah, and then it automatically just go into it and start running and dropping stuff.
Mike says, "Don't get arrested in trafficking black market American spam." And
there
you know what?
Go.
In the olden days, we used to bootleg cores across the Mississippi. So,
hey, Larry, Dan will have a cart going down to Barangay with a cart full of spam.
Yeah, exactly. I probably wouldn't make it. I probably would be. I probably
and
would
you
be
need to be in the
attacked.
back selling it. Yes, can of spam. Here you go. Get your can of
There you go.
spam.
Spam.
Yeah,
Have the little,
spam here. Get your spam here.
have the little bells on your cart.
See, why don't they make spam hot dogs and stuff like that? You know, so
I don't know.
you'd be able to open up a hot dog stand, except they'd be spam dogs.
I don't know.
Annie wants to know if you ever had fried rice with spam for breakfast.
Oh,
have.
love it. Oh,
I
it's
have.
delicious.
It's actually good with rice.
Yeah, I love it.
That's what I said. That's why I haven't had the spam here recently.
Oh yeah,
I always cook.
I love
with
it. Hey,
mixed vegetables and rice or noodles.
I love
Yeah.
it with. I like taking garlic rice and putting egg in there and spam. You know, that is the best. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
That
well,
is absolutely the
I,
best.
I like like when I scramble eggs,
Mhm.
I'll cook it in that way too. Or I'll cut up potato and fry potato and spam with a little bit of onion in it,
Yeah, you could have a spam
Fried taters.
mobile business. You know, where you can, like the catering trucks here. You just take a jeepney in the Philippines and you
There
make
you
it into
go.
a spam mobile. You actually can paint the whole jeepney like a big
Hey,
spam.
Larry, and that actually rhymed. Dan's spam.
Dan spam. Dan spam.
That'll
Just take
be
a
the name of the
jeepney and
food
make
truck,
it into a
Dan
spam
Spam.
can. You know, that would be hilarious.
Dan spam.
Yeah, Leonard. Oh man. See, I warned people about that. You know, we had to sell mom's house to pay for her care. Leonard, I'm telling you, I try to warn people about it. They will come and take your assets.
Well,
They
thing
will
about my
come.
mom,
If you don't have those supplementals that pay for the co-pays and the extra care, I'm telling you, they will come and they will search around and take your money.
Yes, they will. They're going to get paid either way.
They're
Well,
going to
that
get
was my
paid
mom,
either
though.
way if you have assets.
she sold her house and
Their
moved in with
house,
two of my
car, or
sisters.
whatever.
So she didn't have a house for them to take. Now they're taking her money.
I mean, they'll take anything that's of value.
Yeah, like I said, they not the house because that was gone, and the house that she was living in belonged to two of my sisters.
I'll tell you, I don't know about American society these days, where the banks are trying to get you. It's not only that, everybody wants it. How about this whole thing about reverse mortgages on homes? I just don't get that. Who would give their house to the bank, I just don't get it.
It depends on if I had no kids to leave it to, I would do it. I'm getting money back out of it to spend while I'm still alive. What happens when I die? When I die,
Well, yeah,
if I had nobody to leave it to,
Go ahead, Larry. I'm
the other
sorry.
bill. So why not?
I think you just came up with. I think, Larry, the only way that's the only thing I could think of as the reason why you do it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I can think of it. You have nobody.
Yeah, but what are you doing carrying a mortgage into retirement anyway? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have 50 and 60-year-old friends that are buying new homes and carrying a 30-year mortgage. I said, well, I said to a friend of mine one time, I said, so you must be planning on living to 105. And they got so mad at me.
Yeah. Well, like I said, once again, my oldest sister, Wanda, and her husband,
Medicaid,
back to New York,
Medicaid,
they set their payments up so it would be paid off by the age 62.
Right.
And
right.
They got a really nice house. It's a Cape Cod, 2-story Cape Cod. But I'm going to tell you the truth. The one son may want it. The other son, nah. His place is a lot nicer than theirs. The oldest son,
but really, where mortgages and the purchasing of homes go, I mean, the American dream has turned into the American nightmare. I mean, honestly,
I had a chance to.
I'd rather be an apartment dweller for the rest of my life.
That's me.
The one thing that me and Sean discussed, not to kind of get into that, kind of in the same subject area, There used to be a middle class. There is no middle class anymore. It does not exist.
Disappearing. You know
It's
what's so
gone.
weird? What's so strange about what you just said is middle class.
Let's throw this out. Who
It's
carried most
emerging
of the
here in the
burden?
Philippines.
Who carried most of the tax burden in America? The middle class.
Well, I think the poor do
Now,
now.
it
Yeah.
used to be the
Well,
middle.
I mean, I don't mean really middle class, blue collar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have an emerging middle class in the Philippines, but you know
Right.
that emerging middle class has to come from somewhere. You know.
That's it.
Here in the States, you used to have a good, strong lower middle class, and upper middle
Yeah,
class. Now
yeah.
it's going to upper middle class and working lower middle class, and the middle class is almost gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got the working poor.
Yep.
All right.
Living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. But I'm not talking about the ones that spend beyond their control, but I'm talking about, I live in an apartment that is actually one of the lower cost nice apartments. All right. Now, you got people making $15 an hour. They struggle if they're single. They will struggle paying for this place.
Oh, of course.
All right. Now, I handle it pretty well because I got a little more better money coming in.
I mean, I'll throw this out. Where I live in this apartment, it goes for $1,850 a month.
Like I said, I'm a lot lower than that. Like I said, but it's an older apartment, but it's still nice. You've seen my pictures of me showing the buildings and walking around my apartment complex.
But I think I discussed it with you one time, Larry. See, I get Section 8 also, so that pays most of my rent.
Well, I do know that here in New York, if you're on Social Security, I don't know what you can make and get it, but I do know you can get housing
Assistance. Yeah.
No, I mean, we had a guy that moved in. I was down there picking up something I ordered, and housing authority was paying his entire rent.
Yep.
And maybe his utilities. Now I have to work.
It depends on your condition.
Your income.
Mine, they pay the majority of my rent. I do have to pay something out of pocket each month, but they pay the majority of it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though. So
Crystal's right. You know, we do only have two classes here, poor and rich.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's the way it's been in America, period. The wealthy,
And here's
and
Nip
the poor,
in telling us the reason why. Hey, in San Jose, a studio apartment is costing $3,000 a month right now.
I believe
$3,000. Can you believe that?
it.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it. Yes, I do. When I first moved in this apartment, Dan, it was costing me like $1,400 a month. All right, a new management company came to renew the lease, and they raised it almost over $400.
Well, when I was living in Terre Haute, I was living in this apartment, a little apartment house, looked like a house, but downstairs was a 2-bedroom apartment, upstairs was 2 1-bedrooms. And the guy that owned the place wanted to sell it to me on contract, okay? And he was willing to set it up that the 2-bedroom and the 1-bedroom would pay him. And I would get my bedroom for free, my place for free.
Yeah.
But I would have to pay for the upkeep and whatever else needed. I'd be taking over ownership, but the payment would be the cost of those 2 apartments.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I don't want to be stuck here. Now, I would have been stuck. And so I turned it down, and he was selling it because he was getting out. Hello,
scammer lovers.
Hey.
Anyway, he was wanting to get out of it. He owned a bunch of apartments, and he was selling them all off. And I worked with him. Now, he wasn't a guard, but he worked at the place I worked at. We got to know each other real well. And then I rented from him for quite a few years. So he was wanting to help me out, just as a nice guy, you know. But I turned it down. And then he sold the place. And the guy came in and jumped my rent by almost 1.5 times.
Oh, I believe it.
And it's like, no, I'm moving out. and I moved out for about a year. Then I moved out here after that.
Yeah.
And,
Well, see,
Hey,
that's all
Larry,
I used to live in Falls Church,
hey,
Virginia, which is more expensive.
Yeah.
That's why I moved out to the area I'm at now because it was cheaper.
Go ahead, Dan.
Sorry,
hey,
Dan.
Larry, take a look at what Mike has to say here.
That's true.
Mike, I'm not too far behind you, except I don't have to support a wife. you know, but
You've got people, which is the story anyway, Dan. You've got people that have retired. They can't survive on what their retired money is coming in. And that's why you got people going to work at Walmart and all these other places because they can't survive on what they're getting every month.
now, Robert, I'm 69 years old, and I'm
Yeah.
still working full time,
Yeah.
and it's because my own stupidity. I mean, I don't blame anybody for my money problems but me. I've told Dan and I have talked about this. I mismanaged my money. And I can't regret it that much because I've done things I wouldn't have done. I've been to China. I've been to Toronto and Montreal and these other places that I would never have gone. I've been to New Orleans, and I've been to a couple other places that if I was watching my money correctly, I wouldn't have made. I wouldn't have done. But I enjoyed it, and I had a blast, and I got memories.
There you
And,
go.
and like I said, I paid for it, so I'm paying for it now, but I still have to keep working.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have those memories. That's all
Yeah,
that
that's
matters.
what I said. That's the thing. I got the memories. Now I'm trying to get out of debt, and if everything goes right, and I'll have all my bills paid off in less than 2 years. Then I want to work at least a couple more years beyond that. And I already told them at the office I had to go in last Sunday for training.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned then you had to go into training.
Yeah, so I went in last Sunday for that, and I told the boss that right now I'm only planning on renewing this check because my guard card is good for 2 years. So I'm renewing it now, and I plan on doing it one more time after this. That's 4 years. And if I have to, I'll do it one more time after that. Then I'm done working. I'll have enough money saved up that if I have to, I'll move out of the country if I can. I'll move to some cheaper state to live. I won't stay here. Unless they give me a whole lot of money for my rent and everything, I'm not going to stay here because I've been working off and on since I was 15. Well, regular job since I was 15. I shoveled snow, I raked leaves, I cut grass, and all that stuff. I had paper routes from the time I was 10.
Yeah.
But a regular job where, you had to go in and do the job at a certain time and got paid by somebody else for the number of hours you worked. I've been doing that since 15.
Yeah, my father pretty much instilled that in all of us kids.
Well, like I said, my dad
he
went
taught
on.
us that value of working young.
Well, my dad went on total disability when I was about 12 years old. All right. Now he made really good money, but once he like I said, he went to work one day and then never worked again the rest of his life because he lifted something wrong. He went from 258 pounds at 6'4" to 150 pounds in 3 months because he lifted something wrong. So after that, if I wanted certain stuff, my parents couldn't afford to buy it. So I went out and worked so I could buy what I wanted.
Guys, look at this. Scammer Lovers is saying that you need 30,000 pesos a month. You would be considered rich.
Oh yeah, I don't think you'd have to have 30,000 pesos. And let's see now. I mean, you're maybe rich, and
I think that's a lot of dough. I really do.
that's only 30,000.
Be about $600 a month, wouldn't it? 5 or 6?
No, 600.
Yeah.
Most of us Americans are going to have that or more. I mean, I have that. I have more than 60,000 pesos. I mean, I'm not going to get into exactly how much I have, but it's more than that. But you got to remember now, we need to save money for medical expenses. And, and pay for our insurance, whether we have
No,
insurance
no,
there or both places.
not to interrupt you guys. I just heard from Sammy. I just got a message. She says she would love to come to your stream, Dan. She apologized. She has no electricity, no solar, and she doesn't have any balance in her Gcash for her data. So, I guess she messaged me. I'm just glad. I'm happy to hear from her.
Chris, Annie, that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to straighten things out. I really don't want to go too far because my mother's 96. She'll be 97 in January. So I stay where I can go home in a single day if I really have to. I try to spread it out so I'm not doing that long drive.
But she wanted me to let you know that, Dan. All right.
Okay, appreciate it.
That she doesn't have enough data to come up on the stream.
Well,
All right. Well,
tell her hi from the whole chat.
yep. Say hello.
Okay.
Glad,
Here she's
glad
okay.
she's okay.
All right, hold on. Let me say that to her.
I would say that Scammer Lovers is probably pretty close to the mark.
Well, right now for 1,000 pesos is just a little under $20. Now,
Yeah,
when it was at 50, it was $20. When it was 50 to 1, it was $20. But it's
So now we're about 58. We're 58 to 1. By the way, the rate is crashing. You know, the dollar exchange rate. The reason why is because if you don't know it, there's a sell-off of dollars all around the world right now.
Well, right now, you couldn't expect it to stay that high. I mean,
well, especially when China and everybody else is starting to sell the dollars.
Well, China wants to sell it because it's hurting their money too much. Because they were weak against it. Everybody was weak against the dollar. I will, Annie. But like I said, though, my mom keeps saying she doesn't want to live to be 100. Now, her dad and her granddad both lived to be about 92. I'm named after her granddad, but I got the name. Actually, my real name is Larry. His name was Lawrence. And then she's got an uncle on her mother's side that lived to be 98. Her older brother lived to be 92. So there's some longevity on my mom's side. But like I said, I've already outlived both my brothers and my father. So there's no guarantee I'm going to live to be old because I don't consider myself old right now. I don't look it. I don't act it. I don't feel it outside of the arthritis in the hands and knees. But yeah, $1 Scammer is $1.58 pesos. But like I said, it's not going to stay there. It'll drop back down around 50, maybe even lower.
Yeah, I think you're right. It most likely will.
I look at it when I look at like if I'm willing to move over there, I'm not planning on it being 58. I'm looking at 50. You know, because it was at 50 for a long time before all this happened. So I'm thinking it'll probably drop back down to there or they're close to there when everything straightens back out to normal. I'm just glad things are starting to get back to normal.
Hey, at 50, you're more optimistic than Minnie and I. We're thinking 30.
Oh, I doubt if it goes that low.
Yeah.
Unless the U.S. really crashes. The U.S. is going to have
well,
to
we're thinking that they want to, you know, the globalists want to destroy the use of the U.S. as the petrodollar. And so we're going to have to keep our eye. I mean, they're dumping money. Once you start dumping the dollar investment, then and once you convert that petrodollar over to some other type of currency, which is happening now, I think.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to agree upon a currency, though. I mean, let's be honest about it. You can't. They're not unless they want to just, hey, we'll use our own currency. Period. And if that happens, the U.S. dollar still stays stronger. Now, it may not stay at 50, but it'll still be stronger than the others. Yes, Scammer, you're right. If you have $1,500 U.S. dollars a month, you can live a very good life in the Philippines.
Oh yeah, you live very comfortably. Yeah,
and I can live a comfortable life in the Philippines, but I got
see,
to get my bills paid off. And I want to
Like,
save up the start money.
yeah, with me, is I really started to think like things that Dan said and other streams that I went to. The more I learned, the more research I did. And that's why I tapped into my VA benefits and to get medical and a monthly check.
Well,
So I
got
mean, because my knees and stuff like that are service connected.
Yeah.
So, I'll get a monthly check from that every month now.
like I said, I am in the VA system here now. It won't do me any good if I go to the Philippines. So the one thing I would always do if I stay in the States is I'm going to live close to a VA hospital, period. But, Texas has no state income tax. Florida has no income tax. Indiana doesn't tax your Social Security. There's something like 30-some states don't tax your Social Security, and they're talking about a federal law where the federal government won't tax your Social Security. They're talking about trying to get that approved by 23. So not this tax year, but the next tax year, from what I'm understanding.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. Because right now, the way it's taxed right now, when it was set up, it would only affect maybe 20% of the people. But because they never adjusted the rate, now about 80% of the people are affected by the tax, being taxed. Because it was set up, well, if this was like, I forget, in the 70s or something like that. Well, if you make over this amount of money, well, back then that was a lot of money. But they never adjusted that for inflation. So it's still the same amount of money it was set at in the 70s. Now, the 2020s, almost everybody's making that, if they're working. And so, but hey, Joe only did 4 years. Well, I only did 6.5. So you can still get in to the VA system. But over the Philippines, unless your sickness or injuries is service related, you're not getting any treatment. So what I have won't be treated in the Philippines. All right, because I do not believe it's service related. So I'll have to make sure I have the money to cover it myself, which right now I can't. I can do it at $50. I mean, 50 pesos to $1. I can still do it on my own.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah.
We're coming up on 3 hours.
Like I said, you're shooting for my record. Come on, you can do it.
No. My limit. We passed my limit like 45 minutes ago.
Come on now.
No. I gotta go tomorrow. I got spam and eggs waiting for me.
Oh,
Mabel, thanks for staying through the live. Everyone, thanks so much for coming to the live and hanging out with us today. It was fun. It went really well. And I wish everybody remains safe from the typhoon or whatever you want to call it, the storm that's coming through. And
Dan, let me say this for you. And Sammy said to say, send my love to all of them. She said, hello, Dan. Hello, Larry.
All right. Tell Sammy I hope she can come tomorrow if she's got power back up.
Yeah.
Everybody else is welcome to come to my live stream. It will start the same time Dan's did, but it'll be tomorrow. I start 24 hours after Dan. And anybody that wants to come up, I'll have the link up. And you can come up and join my panel, and we'll just talk whatever you want to talk about.
Let's do it again tomorrow on Larry's live stream. We'll go 5 hours. We'll go 6.
Well, Larry likes that.
We'll go 8 hours. I'm going to get you, Larry.
You're going to have to push because I got 4.5 hours, buddy.
We'll go 10 hours on Larry's stream tomorrow. How about that? All right, everybody. Stay safe. Sammy, we love you. Larry, take us out of this live with your famous words of wisdom.
All right. Be nice to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, always try to have fun. Bye.
Awesome.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. We're out.
Thanks, Dan. Love you.
Hey, love you. Take care, Robert. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Larry.
See you next time.
Bye.
Mike, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Leonard from Houston. See you guys later.
Right.
Crystals, it was a pleasure. We got to do an interview. Bye, everyone.